Alrighty, everybody. Thank you for joining here on this Monday evening. We do have ongoing severe weather here across portions of the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and down there into the Great Plains, the Central and Southern Plains. Let's go over today's outlook for the rest of the day because we still have severe weather ongoing. We have several severe thunderstorm warnings and one confirmed tornado, at least it was confirmed, in northeastern Oklahoma here this evening. So we have an enhanced risk of severe weather today across portions still of the Ohio River Valley. This includes portions there of northern Kentucky, the Louisville region up there towards Cincinnati. That stretches further to the west through southern Indiana. This does include portions of Evansville, getting into the Bloomington region, and then extending over here into Illinois, Springfield into Carbondale, Mount Vernon, Charleston, Effingham, those areas, and over here into St. Louis. That extends back here into portions of Missouri, Jefferson City, Columbia, over here into Kansas City, Springfield in Joplin, the Branson region, and then extending down into northwestern Arkansas, Fayetteville, into the Fort Smith area, and that extends all the way down into the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We do have a moderate risk of severe weather that continues to be ongoing across Oklahoma and far north Texas. This does include the vicinity there of Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and Norman, all the way down there toward Lawton, Fort Sill, and into the Wichita Falls region, as we do have a confirmed tornado warning near the Bartlesville area, an observed tornado warning on the ground. So that is a confirmed tornado across northeastern portions there of Oklahoma. So make sure you are heeding the warning there. What we're going to do on this live stream is talk about what is to come the rest of tonight, and especially looking at a rare tornado outbreak across portions of Ohio and the Tennessee River Valley into the southeast as we go into your Tuesday, April 2nd time frame. So if you are joining here, make sure to quickly press that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We'll have a video out for you folks tomorrow morning on Weather on the Go channel, so make sure that you are subscribed and hit all notifications on for that video and additional live streams, because we will likely go live again tomorrow morning to break down the threat. So let's look here at the rest of today here. Let's take off the warnings just real quick here for the day here, just so we can see the outlook. And let's take these off. All right, so let's look here at the rest of the day today. Here's the latest threat for tornadoes, and it remains unchanged from earlier. A 10% hatched risk for tornadoes today extends still from St. Louis back through Missouri here into Jefferson City, Columbia, Springfield, Joplin region, and just south there of Kansas City. This extends into far southeastern Kansas, northwest Arkansas. This is far northwest Arkansas, the Rogers region, Fayetteville, and Fort Smith. And this extends down there into eastern and northeastern Oklahoma. Bartlesville, where we have that ongoing confirmed tornado still, we'll watch that. Tulsa, down into the Oklahoma City metro area and just east. And that includes the smaller cities here like Norman, into portions of Ada, McAllister, Stigler, Muskogee, and the Claremore region there into eastern portions of Oklahoma. We still have that tornado threat down there into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, around a 5% shading, especially on the northern side of Dallas, the southern side of Dallas, down toward Austin, San Antonio, Texas, down there near the Rio Grande Valley. We do have more of a 2% shading of any tornadoes that could happen. And then we again have that threat extending over there into places like Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Louisville, into portions of Charleston, West Virginia, and Columbus going through the rest of this evening. And again, if you are here, make sure to press the like button down below. It helps out more than you know. Let's look here again at our hail threat. Very formidable hail threat as we go through the rest of this evening. A 45% significant hail threat still continues to linger across east central portions of Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, into portions there of the Wichita Falls region, and all those smaller cities like Ardmore, Stigler, Muskogee, and the Ada region into Oklahoma. But a large zone tonight still of very significant hail. We've already seen reports of very significant hail here across portions of the Midwest and down into the southern plains today already. This will likely continue deeper into this evening, so make sure you are watching out for the hail threat. And then the wind threat, as we see upscale growth into a squall line, or what we call a QLCS line of storms, going into later on this evening, but especially after midnight, this could lead to a hurricane force wind gust there for St. Louis, downstate Illinois near Mount Vernon, Charleston, and down there into portions there of the Effingham region, but especially down here into Springfield, Missouri, Joplin, into Branson, Fayetteville, and near Tulsa. So we're going to continue to watch that today as we go through the rest of the day as well. Let's move ahead to tomorrow. A very rare day of severe weather again tomorrow. We have another moderate risk of severe weather. This covers most of Ohio, folks. This was just the update from earlier on. If you were part of the live stream earlier today, we did mention this moderate risk was upgraded. We were waiting around for it, and they did upgrade this to a moderate risk, level 4 out of 5 for Ohio. This does include the Bellefontaine region, Columbus into Chillicothe, into the Cincinnati region. This also includes Akron, Mansfield, Canton, the Wheeling area, Parkersburg into West Virginia, Lima, Dayton, Hamilton, all these areas here in this region in Ohio or West Virginia, and even southeastern portions there of the Indianapolis area, just south and east of there into the Richmond, Indiana area. We're keeping an eye on our moderate risk tomorrow, but a large enhanced risk still extends down there into the Charleston, West Virginia area, Louisville, Lexington, and Richmond, down into middle and eastern Tennessee, Nashville, I-40, down I-40 there, Cookeville, Crossville, and Knoxville region, over there toward Johnson City. This does also include areas north and west of Atlanta, so we're going to continue to watch those areas, Chattanooga as well, but also keeping an eye on Dalton, Rome, into northwestern portions of Georgia there. We're watching Huntsville, Florence, into the Jasper region, Gadsden, and down toward Birmingham. So a very large area with an enhanced or moderate risk of severe weather, and this is the reason why we have a rare day of severe weather tomorrow. Look at the tornado risk. The moderate risk is driven by a 15% significant risk for tornadoes across Oklahoma tomorrow, across Ohio tomorrow, rather. And this does include, the Bellefontaine region, Lima, up to Mansfield, Akron, Columbus, near the Wheeling region, Chillicothe, Hamilton, Cincinnati, and Dayton, Ohio. So this is an area we need to really keep an eye on. Still some strong long-track tornadoes possible tomorrow. Charleston, West Virginia, the Lexington, Richmond area, Louisville, down into Clarksville, Nashville, Crossville, Cookeville, and over there into portions of Huntsville. So a lot of vills here. You're going to see the threat force of some significant tornadoes as we go through your Tuesday, April 2nd time frame. And again, thank you so much for being here, folks. We're going to answer your questions here in just a moment, but let's look here at the timing, or not the timing rather, but the setup for the storms as we go into tomorrow. Let's look at the latest HRRR model, the 0Z. I'm very anxious to see this, but the 0Z is coming here in the next 30 minutes potentially. But let's look here real quick. Actually, really in the next 15 minutes it'll be here, but let's look real quick at the setup for our supercell composite as we go into tomorrow here for your Tuesday time frame. So let's look at this as we go deeper into tomorrow. Let's wait for it to load in here real quick. And you can see as we go into your Tuesday morning, we're watching a threat there near Louisville, and that will lift north. Our supercell composite values really start to lift higher as raise the bar for those supercells as we go into that 3 o'clock Central Daylight Time frame, or Eastern Time rather. And you can see around Indianapolis, Bloomington, Muncie, into Lafayette there, Cincinnati. We're going to see those values start to climb by mid-afternoon tomorrow. And this could be around 15, 16 here. In some of these areas, look at that, 42 for a supercell composite value there into western portions of Indiana for a brief period of time early to mid-afternoon tomorrow. And then as we go deeper into tomorrow, this is my concern, is that we're going to really start to see more of these supercells developing and more spatially, away from each other. So what I mean by that is we could have a supercell up there, for example, in Toledo, and then a little bit of space in between the storm and another supercell over Lima or the Bellefontaine region, and you have a lot of inflow that could come into these storms. So the significant tornado parameter tomorrow, I am very concerned about this. Look at that, this here up to 6s into western portions of Ohio at 6 o'clock here on your Tuesday time frame. But look at as they grow in intensity here as we go into tomorrow evening, and this is going to definitely be something to watch. Still dealing with 3s and 4s here near Mansfield, Columbus, and again the Bellefontaine, Ohio region around 7, 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow evening. This is after dark, so violent long track tornadoes is a real threat tomorrow, and I actually do think if the HRRR model continues to show values this high or increases the value, I really actually think that we could be seeing a high-risk upgrade for severe weather potentially in Ohio as we go into tomorrow. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's look here at some different parameters as well. Let's look right now at your 0 to 3 angle cape. This is basically energy that an updraft of a thunderstorm can use for fuel. And you can see that's still pretty high here. Let's actually back this up just a little bit, a couple hours prior here to the evening. And you can see, let's back this up to around 3 o'clock in the afternoon real quick here. You can see we start to see that rise, 0 to 3 kilometer cape near Indianapolis, but really start to rise with those supercells up to around 200 joules per kilogram with that 0 to 3 kilometer cape as we go into that early evening time frame. That's fuel for a lot of these thunderstorms to produce strong, very violent tornadoes potentially in Ohio tomorrow. So this is a big day for severe weather. Let's look here at our mid-level jet stream as well, and might have to switch this over. Let's switch this over to the NAM 3KM real quick. So let's switch this over, and you can see here we're going to look at real quick the 500 millibar winds. So this is your mid-level jet as we go into your Tuesday time frame. And again, we're waiting for it to load in here just real quick. All right, so but again, I hope everybody's having a great start to their April out there. Happy Monday, April 1st, everybody. So going through tomorrow, look at how the mid-level jet, we're going to kind of zoom it out here and show you. Look at the mid-level jet here across the Ohio Valley, really crank up there across Ohio late afternoon and into the evening hours. This is a concern here, and you can see it cranks up to around 117 miles an hour. That's a few thousand feet above our heads. That's in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. And then you can go down here to the 850 millibar low-level jet here. And this is a real strong low-level jet as well. So let's look at this, because this definitely is looking formidable. Low-level jet can definitely lead to tornado genesis here. That definitely helps out with the low-level shear. And you can see very strong values there. Look at Ohio. Wow. We're seeing some values around 2 o'clock here of around 75 miles per hour low-level jet. Again, this is not very far above our heads, folks. And some of these storms are able to pull some of this wind down. Then that's why we have that hurricane force wind gust threat, but also the tornado threat as we go across Ohio tomorrow. So a very big deal. And then you can see that low-level jet really extends into tomorrow evening here as well. So this is definitely a big deal with these storms as they push on through. All right, so let's answer some of your questions out there. Again, thanks for joining. If you are new here and you like detailed, accurate weather forecast, consider hitting the subscribe button down below. Also liking the live stream on your way in. I do appreciate it. Everybody like the live stream. We have 275 people watching, only 116 likes. Would love to get that like button up to 300. I do appreciate it. Gets more people aware of the severe weather. Very dangerous day tomorrow, folks. We need as many people on here to listen to this information as possible here, as we're going to be answering questions and going over the outlook for especially tomorrow. All right, here, let's see. Yeah, I see a question about a high risk tomorrow. It depends. It depends on the parameters on what they look like tomorrow. A new update won't come out for the Storm Prediction Center until 1 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. But I definitely could foresee if all the ingredients like the HRRR like this, here, I'm going to go back and show you. Let's look here at the, again, significant tornado parameter. The moderate risk, as we know for tomorrow, is driven by tornado potential. So that's actually why they upgraded to a moderate, because of that 15% hatched risk for tornadoes. Let's go here to the 18Z HRRR real quick from earlier. Again, we're still waiting on the 0Z data that is coming in with the HRRR here in the next little bit. But let's go here and look Look at the significant tornado parameter really starting to grow there across Indiana and northern Kentucky tomorrow, and then really grows into especially, I think, eastern Indiana, far northern Kentucky, and western Ohio is really the ground zero tomorrow for the potential of some violent tornadoes. We're talking, when we say violent, we're talking EF2s, EF3s or higher. So we're definitely seeing the potential for that to occur tomorrow. And it's not a guarantee, it's not a slam dunk, but definitely the potential with some of these ingredients coming together. We're seeing some high values here, significant tornado parameter around 6s. Down here into portions of eastern Indiana, we're talking 7s. And actually, the HRRR model is maxing out around 20 here on the significant tornado parameter for this event as we go into tomorrow. 20 out of 10. That's very significant. That's doubling what the max of the chart actually says for significant tornado parameters. So let's see here. What about between Lexington and Moorhead, Kentucky? Down here into Kentucky, the tornado threat is a little bit more less because we're not near the warm front. Up near the warm front up there in Ohio, we're going to see higher values because you have more low-level shear. You have more turning of the winds with height near a frontal boundary where you have that triple point come together. So you have the warm front, and I'm going to kind of draw it on here real quick. You're going to have, we're going to put it in red. So the warm front would actually be sitting up in this vicinity here, somewhere in northern Ohio. And then in blue, I'm going to show you the cold front, or I didn't pick blue. There we go. So in the blue, the cold front would be extending like this. And then also here in the orange, I'm going to put the low pressure system. This is what you call kind of like a triple point setup. The low pressure system tomorrow will be traveling here across portions of Illinois and moving into Indiana as we go into your Tuesday time frame. And what we're seeing here is the triple point here. You got a lot of low level shear here. Winds are going to be backing towards the low pressure. Remember, low pressure is kind of like a vacuum, okay? Just think of a low pressure system like a vacuum. It's sucking in all the air, okay? So you can see low pressure systems counterclockwise flow. So it's going to be backing those winds toward the warm front here and ahead of the cold front there. But then at the same time, we're going to see those winds in the upper levels moving in and screaming over top of that out of the south and west. And you see the rolling motion that we'll have in the atmosphere tomorrow. And that's exactly why we are seeing what we're seeing in western Ohio, eastern Indiana, and northern portions, far northern Kentucky, around the Louisville region and the Ohio River Valley area as we go into Tuesday, April 2nd. And again, I can't thank you enough for being here, folks. Again, make sure to hit that like button down below. We're almost to 200. I appreciate it. The more likes, the better. The more people that join the live stream. So again, you guys help me out. I help you out with the information. I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. I think a high risk is possible. Is it a guarantee? No. Obviously, no high risk for severe weather is a guarantee. The Storm Prediction Center puts a lot of thought into that. They don't just put out high risk for nothing. So whenever you see a moderate risk, they put a lot of consideration into those moderate risks, especially. That's what we have in Ohio. But they definitely put a lot of consideration into high risk for sure before they put them out. Now let's look at the dew points as we go into late afternoon, mid-afternoon time frame into the early evening. And you can see around Ohio here, look at this. This is April 2nd, folks. Dayton is going to see a 67-degree dew point potentially as we go into that 6 p.m. time frame as we go into tomorrow evening. And this is very high dew points, a lot of very high moisture content moving in here, kind of like sucking in all the moisture with that low pressure system, acting like a vacuum, like we're just telling you. And this is definitely going to be very volatile because tornadoes love moisture. So obviously where there's moisture and where there's supercells, you have to really watch the threat for tornadoes as long as the wind shear is there. And I mean, the ingredients are going to be there, folks. We look at the temperatures as well, surface temperatures up here. It's going to feel like a spring day. You're going to walk outside maybe midday tomorrow in Ohio, potentially, hopefully not while storms are happening, but potentially at some point tomorrow and saying, wow, this feels like a true spring day. We definitely got to watch severe weather. You can get the general feel of a severe weather day when you definitely walk outside and you see upper 60s to low 70 temperatures all the way up in Indiana, Ohio, and western Pennsylvania for April 2nd, very early in the year. So definitely watching out for that threat as we go into tomorrow. Columbus is in the bullseye of the severe weather. Yes, Columbus, and we're going to put that back on the screen here. Let's put the outlook back on the screen for you folks that are just getting here. And I appreciate you guys being here again. Let's look here at the moderate risk. Yes, Columbus is right in the middle of the moderate risk tomorrow, and they're actually right in the middle of the tornado potential tomorrow. You can see the tornado potential 15% significant for Columbus. So that means 25 miles in the radius of Columbus, around like a circle, the radius of Columbus, you can see the potential for a long track, strong to violent tornado. We're talking EF2s, EF3s, all the way up to EF5 potential as we go into tomorrow. How's Nashville going to be? Nashville currently is in the 10% hatched risk and the enhanced risk for severe weather, but a 10% hatched risk for tornadoes. So Nashville and Murfreesboro, those areas, could see a significant tornado tomorrow as well. So that does include I-40 down here, I-65, and also I-24. So if you live in any of those areas that come into Nashville, Clarksville to Nashville, Murfreesboro to Nashville, Nashville to Cookeville, we're going to continue to watch this. We have a 10% hatched risk for tornadoes tomorrow in Nashville, which is a very formidable threat for tornadoes. The wind threat in Nashville, we actually have the threat of a 30% significant wind risk. This is hurricane force or stronger, so 75 miles per hour or stronger there. And then we're looking at the hail threat there for Nashville, and we have a 30% chance of general hail. So we're talking the hailstones of around quarter size or larger. So this is a big deal if you do live in the Nashville area. Very big day for severe weather, the likes of which you probably haven't seen in a couple of spring seasons. So, and for Ohio standards, this could be one of the biggest setups for severe weather, regardless of going high risk or not, potentially in a few years. So this is definitely a big deal for Ohio up here as we go into Tuesday tomorrow. Again, I appreciate you guys joining. Make sure to keep hitting that like button. The more likes, the more people that join. I do appreciate it. So thank you guys for getting that like button up. We're up to 203. I'd love to see that get up to close to 1,000. So the more likes we get, again, the more people who join. So thank you guys so much for helping out here. Answering some more questions here. Let's see. Where would the high risk probably be? Well, it would be in Ohio if that was to be the case. So we just went over some of the data here in the significant tornado parameter, the supercell composite and everything, the wind shear, the dew points with the moisture and the temperatures. Everything points at Ohio. If we did have an upgrade to a high risk tomorrow, it would be literally right over the Columbus area and down towards Cincinnati and Chillicothe. So you guys are in that moderate risk now. You could stay moderate. You could go down to enhanced tomorrow, depending on what the parameters look like, or you could go up to a high risk. We'll have to wait and see with more updates in the morning. And again, I will post a video tomorrow morning here on this channel, Weather on the Go, so you guys have more updated information tomorrow morning as you wake up to go to work, school, or run any errands out there that you need to run early in the morning. So make sure you guys watch that video tomorrow. I see a question about Huntsville, Alabama, so we're going to go further south here. For tomorrow in Huntsville, you actually are under an enhanced risk. Earlier on, you were under only a slight risk, so your threat for severe weather in Huntsville and really northern Alabama in general. So for Florence, Huntsville, down toward Birmingham, you guys have increased to an enhanced risk, a level 3 out of 5 on the scale for severe weather there. You can see for tornadoes in Huntsville, you are actually in that 10% hatched risk as well, just like Nashville and Murfreesboro. In the Huntsville, in the Florence area, and up toward Chattanooga, you guys are in at 10% hatched risk for tornadoes, which means a strong tornado long track could be possible. That would be EF2 or stronger. The wind threat for Huntsville is actually a 30% wind risk. So that means wind gusts of 60 to 70 miles an hour will be possible. And then looking at the hail threat there in Huntsville, we're looking at a 30% general hail risk. So quarter size or larger. That's that 1 inch in diameter or larger hail there into northern Alabama, not just Huntsville, but Florence, down toward Birmingham, and then up toward the Chattanooga region. Again, just joining, we're doing live rare tornado coverage. This is a rare event as we go into tomorrow, so this is a big deal. And just look at the scope here. Let me zoom this out and let's show you the tornado outbreak for tomorrow, likely to unfold. Look at the tornado outlook that the Storm Prediction Center put out here. Look at just the vast area here of the potential for a tornado outbreak and just significant tornadoes tomorrow in general. Let's look at this here. And you can see, I'm going to circle it here in blue. Look at the area here from Chicago just about all the way down here towards Memphis, into the New Orleans region, down toward Panama City, down towards the Tallahassee region, all the way over here into the Carolinas, into Virginia and Maryland, all the way up through central Pennsylvania and to Detroit, all the way around. That entire area I just circled has a potential for a tornado tomorrow. That is a very large area for tornado potential. Now within that region, I'm going to put in lighter blue. This area that I'm circling has the potential for a strong long track tornado. This is from Cleveland all the way down here into the Huntsville and Florence region. A very large area for the potential for a strong long track tornado tomorrow. So this is a very big outbreak of tornadoes potentially, again, from Detroit all the way down toward New Orleans, Panama City, and Tallahassee. So when warnings come out tomorrow, and it may not be me, but any of your favorite YouTubers out there, anybody covering the severe weather tomorrow, it's going to be tough to keep up with the watches and warnings. So make sure to give them plenty of your patience, because it's going to be a very active, very volatile day here. Again, we have a very large scale outbreak, even larger than today, across portions of the Ohio and Tennessee Valley, down all the way into the southeast. The Atlanta area, Montgomery, Gulfport, Mobile, Panama City, you're all on a slight risk of severe weather. Charlotte over here, into the Roanoke region, we're in that slight risk, level 2 out of 5 on the scale for severe weather as well. With no basement, all you got to do is, well, either find a storm shelter. So know your closest storm shelter. If you don't have one, then you have to rely on a most interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. An interior, lowest floor of your home. Again, put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. If you have a bathroom that's in the middle of your home and it's on the lowest floor, get in the bathtub, put a mattress over you. Or if you have helmets like bicycle helmets, baseball helmets, football helmets, anything like that to protect your head is very good to do if you have a situation like that. Hopefully you have a storm shelter. Hopefully you have a basement. The basement is always the best bet. Storm shelters are always the best bet for a tornado, to ride out the tornado threat in those areas. Otherwise, the lowest, most interior room, again, put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible and get as low as possible and cover your head is unfortunately the last thing you want to do, but it's better than nothing. So. And out my window right now here, I'm from northern Illinois, and it's pouring down rain. So we're definitely seeing a lot of rainfall here across the Midwest. No severe weather for me, but there's a lot of rainfall. We've had a lot of rain this spring, so we're seeing some good downpours across the Midwest. And a flash flooding threat will be possible today, too, across portions of the Midwest into the night. What time will the possibility for tornadoes start? So we can look at the HRRR model here for the composite reflectivity for tomorrow. Let's take this outlook off real quick so you can see better. And let's kind of zoom this in here. So let's go, this is the 18Z, and let me see if the 0Z is loaded in. It's not yet. So, okay, let's go back here and show you what we're seeing here for the early morning hours on your Tuesday and show you what you can expect as we go into your Tuesday afternoon, evening. So here's around midnight. This is what the radar could look like at midnight. This is just a simulation. It may not look exactly like what you see here on the screen, but notice a lot of storm activity, complexes of storms moving through the Ohio Valley, mostly over portions of eastern Illinois, Indiana, and western Ohio there at midnight. You can see those complexes will move over the same area. So that's why we say the flash flooding risk, but also the damaging wind risk here across eastern Illinois, Indiana, and western Ohio will be greatest after midnight tonight, and also the heavy rainfall threat. Here is the big $1,000,000 question here. The $1,000,000 question is, how fast do these storms and this cloud cover from these complexes of storms stick around? Our saving grace tomorrow, hopefully, will be that these storms across Ohio and Indiana stay longer or back build more than this model is showing through the morning. That will linger cloud cover. This model is actually breaking up cloud cover, and by mid-late morning, we're seeing insulation from sunshine, and we're seeing temperatures soaring into the 60s and 70s out across this region here that I'm circling right now. So if you have, you can see partly cloudy skies are coming out behind these storms in the wake of this complex of storms tomorrow morning. This is 9 o'clock in the morning. And then notice as we go deeper into the morning, there's that sunshine. Look at that, almost mostly sunny skies, according to this model, potentially across Ohio and central portions of Indiana. That is the last thing you want to see on a severe weather day such as tomorrow, because that's going to re-energize, recharge the atmosphere. And by 2 o'clock, already by 2 o'clock, we're watching supercells near the Ohio River Valley down here, Chillicothe, Cincinnati to Louisville, and these already could be tornadic, producing very large hail, very strong winds. And then we're watching back into Illinois here and the Indianapolis region for our main area. And look at this model. I do not like the look of this, folks. If this comes to fruition, coinciding with those very high significant tornado values, we're showing you up to 6s and is maxing out at 20 out of 10 tomorrow. Yes, out of 10. That means the values only go to 10 on the chart, but it's maxing out at 20. So we already have a very off the chart situation with our significant tornado parameter values tomorrow. And you can see we got 1 supercell, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got several supercells out here, and each one of those could be producing violent long track tornadoes and or very large hail and some damaging winds. So we definitely have to keep an eye on this. This would be about 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, and then going across to 8 o'clock. This is after sunset. So you aren't going to see any tornadoes that could be happening. You're not going to see the storm structure as good at 8 o'clock Eastern time here. So you're definitely going to be watching and waiting for these storms in Toledo and Cleveland, Mansfield, Bellefontaine, over here towards the Columbus region, Dayton, down into Cincinnati and Louisville as we go through tomorrow. Hopefully these storms become more linear. Then that means the damaging wind risk would go up, but that's better alternative versus a violent tornado threat. I promise you that. I guarantee you damaging winds every day over violent tornadoes here. Even though it's a more widespread scale, I would take my chances with a 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gust versus having EF3 tornadoes any day here. So definitely watching out for that threat as we go into tomorrow. All right, and again, thank you guys so much for joining. If you are new here, we are doing rare tornado outbreak coverage. Again, this is a rare event for tomorrow for especially Ohio, Kentucky, and eastern portions of Indiana. A high-risk upgrade is possible. For those of you that are wondering, is it likely? Probably not, but it is something that we will continue to monitor as we go into tomorrow. Again, I'll have a video for you folks tomorrow on this channel on Weather on the Go. And again, I appreciate you being here. Again, hit that like button, subscribe button down below. It really helps out more than you know. Let's try to get that like button up to 1,000 likes for this live stream. Would help out more than you know. Again, more information we get out to more people, the more people that are aware and informed of this severe weather outbreak tomorrow. Johnson City, Tennessee. So you guys are down here. Johnson City, there it is. I knew it was east of Knoxville. So down here in Johnson City, let's look at the timing for these storms tomorrow, potentially in Johnson City. It's dry all day and actually partly cloudy most of the day here with a mix of sun and clouds. And that big line of storms will develop likely, according to the HRRR model here, around mid-evening. And this would likely push the threat for damaging winds and hail, tornadoes into that region later on in the evening. So this is a very late day event for you there after dark in Johnson City. So nocturnal tornadoes will be possible there for places like Knoxville into Johnson City there in the Crossville region in eastern Tennessee, near the Cumberland Plateau and the Smoky Mountains, the Appalachians here, all the way up to Charleston. So we'll watch that. Thank you, Hosty, for being here. Knight, thank you so much. Trenton, New Jersey. I don't think Trenton, New Jersey's in that big of a deal for tomorrow. You're actually on the very low end of the severe weather potential, but we can look at the timing for storms, I guess, over here. I don't think the Trenton region is going to be seeing really much of anything tomorrow. You're just going to be seeing some rain and some showers. The severe weather threat over here in Trenton is actually pretty low. It's like a marginal risk, so it's really not that big of a deal. We're really kind of looking at Ohio, especially central and western Ohio, into eastern Indiana and far northern Kentucky. That's the main concern with that moderate risk. But then enhanced risk extends down through most of Kentucky into western West Virginia there, all the way down through Tennessee into northern Alabama there, and definitely, seeing a very volatile situation tomorrow. Riceville, Tennessee, I have not seen. I don't know where that is. Let me look. So let's look here at the Riceville, Tennessee region. So we're answering as many questions on here as we can. Let's see. This is near the Knoxville region. So same thing. It looks like an evening event for you. So we're waiting for storms basically all day tomorrow. We're not going to see any storms in the Riceville region till likely late afternoon or early evening. So we're talking about 4 o'clock afterwards. So from 4 o'clock onwards tomorrow, Eastern time, is when you could start to expect the threat for some severe weather for the Riceville, Tennessee region. And that is all modes of severe weather: damaging winds, large hail, and some tornadoes. Southwestern Pennsylvania, Mike. Over here in southwestern Pennsylvania, sure, yeah, we'll look at like the Pittsburgh area up here. So let's look at Pittsburgh and Harrisburg up here. So the timing of storms, early morning, we'll see a complex of storms roll through. These could produce some strong wind gusts and some hail. The tornado threat is very low with these through the morning. And then we'll see a break. And again, the million-dollar question, how much does the cloud cover thin out? If we see sunshine in Pittsburgh tomorrow, that's not good news. You can see that potentially as early as noon, starting to see a mix of sun and clouds. Very big break through the afternoon, and then more storms near Pittsburgh and the Wheeling area by about 6 o'clock in the evening Eastern time. And then those storms will roll through, and we could have some supercells after midnight moving through from Ohio. But they should be on a weakening trend, so they won't be as intense as in Ohio. And once they cross through Cleveland, Akron, Mansfield, Columbus, Chillicothe, and Cincinnati and move east there into eastern Ohio, those supercells should be on a slow weakening trend. But we can't rule out the potential of some tornadoes, hurricane force wind gusts, or some destructive hail there for Pittsburgh as we go into your overnight hours. This is mainly an overnight threat there for some really big storms, but we have to watch out the early evening. Could have a complex of storms moving through Pittsburgh around 6 o'clock, another break, and then that big line comes through. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, same thing here for Harrisburg as well. Harrisburg, you're kind of in that lower end threat for severe weather. You have the complex moving through mid to late morning. This will extend into the early afternoon there for Harrisburg. Dry period, maybe a mix of sun and clouds, and then more storms there later on in the evening. We'll have to wait and see, but they should be on a weakening trend as they move toward Harrisburg. I don't expect them to be as intense in Harrisburg as they are in Ohio, so that's some good news for there. But we have to continue to watch that. Again, remember to remain weather aware through the day. No matter if you're in eastern Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania, or western Pennsylvania, just make sure you remain weather aware and have multiple ways to get warnings. That's another thing. If you have a NOAA weather radio, that's good. If you have your smartphone, if you have a tablet, a laptop, anything that you can get woken up by, a smartwatch, for example, maybe even has some alerts as well. Just make sure to have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings through tomorrow. As again, we have multiple watches today from Illinois, Indiana, all the way down to Texas, and a lot of warnings as well. So. Yeah, it's going to stay moderate. I'm pretty confident that the outlook tomorrow is not going to change away from moderate. I don't think that's going to downgrade from what I'm seeing, at least right now. I think if anything, this could go to a high risk potentially, but right now a moderate risk is pretty reasonable for what I'm seeing tomorrow, but a high risk is possible. It's not likely. I don't think I'll ever say a high risk is likely unless something looks completely crazy to me. Tomorrow looks crazy enough, but I don't think I'm going to ever say a high risk is likely. I think it's possible that a high risk upgrade is there for tomorrow in Ohio. That would be the area to watch for one if there was an upgrade. But right now, it doesn't really matter if you're an enhanced, if you're in a moderate, if you're in a high risk. They all are dangerous severe weather categories. So regardless of the risk, make sure to remain weather aware tomorrow. Again, thank you for joining, everybody. This is rare tornado coverage. If you guys are joining, subscribe button down below. Make sure to press that and smash that like button, folks. We're only to 300 likes here, and we've been live here for, I think, around, I'm not even sure how long. We've been live for about 30, 40 minutes here. So again, make sure to hit that like button down below. It really helps out more than you know. Minnesota, you're going to be seeing some colder air as you go into tomorrow. A few snowflakes maybe in like the Rochester, Minnesota area, but Minnesota is not going to see any severe weather. You're too cold up there in Minnesota. Far too cold. What area would get a high risk? It'd be Ohio. So if we get a high risk tomorrow, it would be Ohio. So that's an if. That's if we get a high risk, it would be Ohio. Very uncertain right now. The storms tonight out west across the Midwest, like these big complexes of storms you see out here in Illinois, Indiana, and Missouri, they have to still move through yet. So just think of that. You know, the model, this is just a simulation. This is a model. It's not like exact science. It's not going to be exactly like you see it here. So could this be, you know, could this complex and say this model, for example, has the complex, the back side of the complex moving through Cincinnati and Columbus, Ohio by 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow Eastern time and has it drying out by 9 a.m. Very well. Could we have further back building through 11 a.m. or noon all the way back to Indianapolis with this complex? Sure. That's definitely a possibility. But we'll have to keep an eye on that. And that definitely could be some good news. If we have thunderstorm activity across Ohio, Indiana, most of the day, that's going to kind of squelch the severe weather potential there for those areas in the Ohio Valley, which we want. We don't want a big severe weather outbreak. We want some quiet weather. So hopefully we get just some straight up rain all day tomorrow in Ohio and Indiana, and we don't have to worry about tornadoes or anything like that. The Columbus, Ohio region for the hail threat, you have the most significant hail threat here. Without even going to the outlook, I can tell you with utmost certainty you have the potential for some hen egg size hail. Now the timing for the potential for that would be more likely, again, we have storms in the morning. Those wouldn't likely be the ones to produce very large hail. It's the ones in the afternoon. So again, depending on the break and how much instability we build, it'll mainly be from about 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, really all the way through 9 or 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So we're looking at 3 p.m. to about 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the Columbus, Ohio region for severe weather potential and very large hail for your question there. Again, keep pressing that like button, everybody. I see we're up to 344. We're getting closer to 500. I appreciate it. Thank you. How about Maggie Valley, North Carolina? All right, let me look that up. I don't know where that is, so let me see here. Okay, so you're in western North Carolina there. So let's go. Yeah, we haven't really talked about the Carolinas, so that's fair. Let's go down here and talk about that. So for the Carolinas, let's actually bring up the outlook because honestly, I don't remember. Yeah, we have a slight risk of severe weather tomorrow for the North Carolina region here, for western North Carolina, even central North Carolina. So Charlotte, Greensboro, westward towards Asheville along I-40 there. And looks like along I-26, I-40, those areas there, I-77, Winston-Salem also included. We have a slight risk of severe weather there, and that does include the threat for all modes of severe weather as well, just like up in Ohio, but just less probability for them. So like tornadoes, you have a 5% chance of a tornado within a 25-mile radius of central and western North Carolina. the large hail threat. The wind threat actually tomorrow is 15% as well for winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. And then you have a 15% probability there in central and western North Carolina of large hail, quarter size, that's 1 inch in diameter or larger. And looking at the timing for storms there, let's go back to that and show you the timing there in the Western Carolinas for you folks that are watching from the Carolinas. You can see as we go into tomorrow evening, we're really watching for dry weather all day for the most part. We're really not going to see any raindrops in Western Carolinas all the way through the day, except for maybe late afternoon there. And then as these storms move east, we're going to see these really after midnight. So it's kind of more of an unfavorable time of day for severe weather, but I think enough dynamics come in by about 2, 3, 4 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is getting very close to daybreak on Wednesday morning. That's when the most significant storms will be rolling through Asheville into the Winston-Salem region, Charlotte around 5 a.m. Eastern Time, Greensboro, same thing, up toward the Galax region, and Roanoke. We're going to continue to watch that. And then they'll roll through the Raleigh area around 7, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, maybe even 9 a.m. Eastern Time on your Wednesday morning, so after daybreak Wednesday. So it's going to take some time for the storms to roll across the western and central Carolinas there with this storm. Hey, NWW116, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Again, go check him out. He's got a YouTube channel as well. NWW116 does very good work. Does a lot of live streams as well throughout the severe weather season. So make sure, again, go check him out. Subscribe to his channel. How about Livonia? Hopefully I'm not saying this name wrong. Livonia, Michigan. So let's go back and look at that real quick here. Again, I'm not familiar with a lot of these. Okay, so that's like a suburb of Detroit. So let's go back here and look up to Detroit. Again, you guys in Detroit, you're kind of north of the warm front, so I'm not really concerned really about a tornado threat. It's really an elevated hail threat. That's really all I'm worried about tomorrow up here. So Detroit, you're kind of seeing more of the complexes of storms going south of you after midnight, and that really continues through tomorrow morning around daybreak. And then we have a break. And then as we go into the afternoon, we have a break. And then more storms around 5, 6, 7 o'clock. That's your biggest threat there in Detroit. And really, it's going to be more of a large hail threat. It's elevated hail producers. I'm not really concerned about tornadoes in Detroit. I really honestly don't think even worst case scenario, the warm front even gets that far north because of Lake Erie. The Lake Erie is not going to allow that warm front, I don't think, to go that far north, but we'll keep an eye on it. But I think mainly just an elevated hail threat. The real robust tornado threat is going to be Ohio, eastern Indiana, down into maybe central Kentucky and middle and eastern Tennessee. All right, so that's really what we're seeing, and that's the data that we have right now. Hey, Mike, thanks for asking. Charleston, West Virginia. Yeah, Charleston, it's going to be, again, you're into West Virginia, so a later day event. We'll have some storms rolling through to your north after midnight. They'll move through around 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll have a break. But looking at this, around 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Parkersburg down to Charleston and Ashland there. We could be seeing some supercells. You can see the purple and blue here indicating some large hail cores and maybe some tornado potential. And then we'll have more supercells mid-evening and then a line of storms attempting to move toward your area. So you may have 2 or 3 rounds of severe weather in the Charleston, West Virginia region. The first round coming through around mid-afternoon. A second round coming through around dinner time, around 5, 6, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then after midnight, the third round. That may be weaker as it's, as the first 2 rounds kind of work over the atmosphere. We'll have to wait and see on that. I think around 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time there on Wednesday, we'll start to see this weaken. Again, thanks, folks, for watching. Make sure, again, hit that like button down below. We're almost to 500. We're getting close. We're getting close. Thank you. I appreciate it. You and I, we're a team. We get it done on here. We get the likes up. We get more people to watch. We get more people informed. So, again, appreciate it. Bristol, Tennessee. So we got Bristol, Tennessee. I got to see where this is at real quick as well. Okay, so you're like extremely, like you're literally like you step outside, you're probably in North Carolina. So yeah, you're east of Johnson City. Same thing. You're gonna see storms mainly into the late evening and really actually after midnight, and they'll be on a weakening trend as they move through, but they could be strong. The strongest storms may come through around 3, 4 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for your area. Again, all modes will be possible: damaging winds, large hail, and a couple of embedded tornadoes. So again, this is a late day event, late evening and early overnight. We're talking around midnight time frame or so for the Bristol area. For your area, Kyle, it might not have been, but for other areas, I guarantee you they've had a lot of large hail today. I've already seen tons of reports coming across the Storm Prediction Center, a storm report page of some big hail in Texas and a couple of confirmed tornadoes today in Oklahoma, I think. So for your area, you might have, and the day's not over yet. So this is going to be a long night still of severe weather, and it hasn't really made it to Indiana, Ohio, or Kentucky yet. So we still have a long ways to go before this outbreak is a close. So we got a long ways to go. Yeah, that's good. In Wentzville, no, that's good. Okay, well, yeah, and you're talking about over by St. Louis. You still have a couple rounds of storms to come through in St. Louis. Like if we go over here to St. Louis right now and look at the latest 18ZH here. So here, where are we at? We're at 830. So this is what the radar could look like. I'm not really sure if it does, but anyways, this is what the 18ZH looks like. There's more storms to your west, so you're not in the all clear yet. We got another big complex of storms to move through with large hail, damaging winds. This is around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning Central Time. And these will roll through from west to east, and then after that, I think St. Louis will start to quiet down. Maybe a storm or two through tomorrow morning, but those really shouldn't be severe. The atmosphere should be a little bit more stable tomorrow, but we could see some heavier rainfall as we go through tomorrow in the St. Louis region. Can I check Carbondale? Sure, yeah, I absolutely can. So let's go down here to Carbondale real quick. Here's Carbondale, Southern Illinois, and actually, I don't know why it went away. So the Carbondale region, we're going through, again, we're not really going to see any significant storms for Carbondale until after midnight. So we're talking around 2 a.m. in the morning. We're potentially seeing some storms moving through. 4 a.m. still seeing some. So it's kind of hit and miss there in Carbondale. It's not a slam dunk, but definitely around the midnight time frame through around 4 or 5 in the morning is your best bet for severe weather there. So again, make sure if you're sleeping that you have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings, as these storms will be coming in well after midnight. And a lot of people down there in Southern Illinois might be sleeping at 2, 3, 4, and even 5 a.m. in the morning. So. Again, thanks everybody for joining. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for having me be your weatherman here this evening. And we're just answering questions so you guys are informed on what you need to know as we go through tomorrow. Timing, severe weather probabilities, stuff like that. We'll likely go live again tomorrow morning, so make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. Subscribe to the second channel that's pinned at the top of the live stream chat if you haven't. If you live in the north central U.S., we'll have another video on Wednesday for that channel. And make sure all notifications are turned on so you guys have a live stream notification and a video notification for tomorrow. I'll do a video on the main channel here, Weather on the Go, as well. Stephanie, can you go over Columbus again? When will it start? So going over here to Columbus, you're asking about the timing. Columbus, you have all 3 hazards tomorrow are significant. So we're talking hurricane force wind gusts, 75 miles an hour or stronger, EF2 or stronger tornadoes. You have a 15% probability of that. And you also have a 30% probability of hail as well, I do believe. Let's go over to I think the hail threat is 30. I don't want to guess on that. Let's look Yes, you have a 30% hail risk as well. Of that could be hen egg size or larger. That's 2 inches in diameter or larger there for the Columbus region. So let's look at the timing here for Columbus and for tomorrow. So we got a complex of storms moving through as we go into after midnight. Flash flooding threat will be a big deal with these storms in Columbus. These could be severe. They'll be starting to move into your area around 3, 4 in the morning Eastern time and then clearing out by mid-morning. And unfortunately, the model here has Columbus clearing out, becoming partly cloudy, mostly sunny later in the morning tomorrow. And then if that occurs, that's going to recharge the atmosphere, and we could be talking about some very big, powerful storms moving through. First with the warm front as we go into mid-afternoon, and then the cold front as it comes through during the evening. That is your biggest risk. 6, 7, 8 p.m. Eastern time in Columbus could be the threat for violent long-track tornadoes. I'm not trying to scare anybody here, but with what the HRRR model is showing at 18Z, Columbus, Ohio, around 7, 8 p.m. could have the potential for supercells capable of violent long-track tornadoes. Those are like EF2, EF3 tornadoes all the way up to EF5 potential. For Dayton, Ohio, it's the same thing. Dayton, Ohio is not that far from Columbus, so we're mainly, again, talking about complex of storms going through tomorrow morning, and then we're going to see those storms with the warm front move north. Those could be supercells, and then the main show will be coming early evening tomorrow between 5 p.m., 6 p.m. time frame and about 9, 10 o'clock in the Dayton area, and that does include the question that you're asking about the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, so we're going to continue to watch that. Okay, no worries, Tori. Well, Milwaukee's not going to see anything significant. You're not seeing any severe weather up there in Milwaukee tomorrow, so you can breathe a sigh of relief. We're not going to see any severe weather in Milwaukee. If anything, we're going to see snow going into later tomorrow into your Wednesday timeframe up there, and potentially a few inches of snow, at least on grassy surfaces up there in the Milwaukee region and the lakefront there of Lake Michigan. So no severe weather in Milwaukee tomorrow, so that's some good news. Lawrenceburg. Okay, so the Lawrenceburg area, I see a question for that, a couple of them on there. I think I know. Here, let me see where Lawrenceburg is. I believe it's east of Indianapolis, but I don't want to be wrong. Okay, yeah, you're like west of Cincinnati. So yeah, same thing for you. You're in the crosshairs for some significant long track violent tornadoes potential tomorrow. You have a complex of storms moving through. That complex will move out around 8, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And then you're going to see potentially the warm front move north with supercells again mid to late afternoon. And then the big show comes in with the potential for violent tornadoes between about 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. So that 3-hour window there is your best chance of significant tornadoes and all hazards severe weather going through the evening hours there in the Lawrenceburg, Indiana region and Cincinnati. Yeah, I can do Nashville. So we haven't talked about Nashville and Middle Tennessee here in a while. So let's go down here to Nashville. Again, Nashville is going to be very quiet actually through the day. Mix of sun and clouds is going to charge the atmosphere up. And big storms develop around Nashville around early to mid-afternoon here, around 2, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Or I think you guys are in Eastern time in Tennessee, I do believe. You might be in Central time. Let me know if you're in Central time there. But Nashville, you guys could see some storms there around mid to late afternoon. And then Eastern Tennessee there, Cumberland Plateau. We're talking the Crossville, Cookville region, McMinnville, Tullahoma down there toward the Chattanooga region, Knoxville, Clinton, Lenoir City, Harriman, all those areas seeing that line of storms early to mid-evening. And then those will move into western North Carolina as we go after midnight. So the timing there in Nashville is between about 2 p.m. and we're looking at about 6 p.m. So that's your window, about a 4-hour window there for some stronger and severe storms, but they could be powerful storms. We could be seeing some strong, violent, long-track tornadoes even in Nashville and the areas surrounding middle and eastern Tennessee as we go into tomorrow afternoon. Dayton, Tennessee. So let's look here at Dayton, Tennessee next. Yeah, it's the same thing there for Dayton, Tennessee. Kind of the same thing that I just said there. We're looking at mainly an evening threat for you. So we're looking at storms coming in around 7 p.m. and going through about 1 in the morning. So 7 p.m. to 1 in the morning is your potential for severe weather there in Dayton, Tennessee tomorrow. And that, again, will be all modes: damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. The strongest tornado threat will be west of you, but it looks more linear, so damaging winds and hail will likely be the main threat there into the evening. So 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Again, folks, keep pressing that like button. We're up to 418. Again, would love to hit 1,000 likes here on today's live stream. So make sure, again, if you are here, to like the live stream, to subscribe here to Weather on the Go, to subscribe to the second channel if you live in the North Central U.S., pinned at the top of the live stream chat. Definitely appreciate it. And again, I really do appreciate you guys being here. So I thank you enough for that. So thank you. So you guys have any more questions regarding your area tomorrow? We can continue to answer those. So Toledo, I see a question about that. Let's go up here to Toledo. So you can see the Toledo area here. We do have the potential, again, for some severe weather. Let me zoom out a little bit here so you can still see Toledo. So Toledo, some heavier rain to your south through mid-morning. Dry, here comes the sunshine. If we see that, definitely watching that for Toledo. Toledo's in an area where I'm concerned about near the warm front. I think Toledo, relative to Detroit, it actually has a lot better of a chance of a tornado tomorrow around 6 p.m. and areas south of Toledo as well. Look at these supercells coming through 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Very strong storms. Could be some violent tornadoes with these potentially if we have the right environment develop. And if those storms from the morning don't squelch that environment, we definitely could be seeing some very powerful storms from Toledo on south through Lima, Bellefontaine into the Cincinnati, Hamilton, and Dayton regions there through the early and mid-evening hours. We've went over Columbus, Ohio several times. Again, I'm still saying the same thing. Again, mid-evening is your biggest threat for severe weather. But honestly, there are going to be a couple rounds there in Columbus. We're looking at mid-afternoon. So the morning round, going through morning, that's mainly a heavy rain threat through about 9 a.m. or so. And then going through Columbus there, mid to late afternoon. And then the main show comes in around 8, 9 o'clock for Columbus tomorrow. Again, this could change. The timing could change. And everything could change as we go into tomorrow morning. So again, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel because a video will be out tomorrow morning on this potential for severe weather. And we'll update you on if there's an upgrade to a high risk or not, if there's any expansion to the moderate risk, and all the probabilities and everything will be in that video. So make sure you do subscribe here to this channel, Weather on the Go, and we'll keep you updated. In just one moment, folks. Again, I appreciate everybody who has subscribed to the second channel. We're up to 804 subscribers on that second channel, North Central Weather Center. Again, if you live in the North Central United States, subscribe to that channel on here as well. We'll do a video on that again on Wednesday. We do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and the weekends if needed on that. That's pinned at the top of the live stream chat. All right, so let's look here. Arkansas. So Arkansas is tonight. We're going to see threats for severe weather mainly tonight. Tomorrow, you're not going to see any severe weather in Arkansas as the cold front moves through. So let's go back here to Arkansas. Let's see if the 0Z is loaded in yet. It's still not there. Let's actually use the 23Z here. So going through tonight there in Arkansas, we're going to see storms moving through the Fayetteville, Fort Smith region here about 10 o'clock. So in an hour, hour and a half or so. They'll be crossing into those areas, also up there toward Rogers, and then they'll be moving east, and then we could have a couple more storms going into after midnight, but honestly, Arkansas really doesn't look that bad. I think it's mainly northwestern Arkansas we need to be concerned about, Fort Smith, Fayetteville, and Rogers, and that's really about it. I don't think the Little Rock area really sees much of anything. To be quite honest with you, it doesn't look like that here on the HRRR model. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Any storms that coming out of northeast Texas could try to make a run toward Little Rock, but they actually may fizzle out before they even reach the Little Rock region, which is pretty interesting. A lot of these storms will be moving up into Missouri and Illinois versus going through Arkansas. Again, we just went over Nashville earlier. We can go over it again here. Nashville is not going to see any storms. We're not going to see any storms tonight in Nashville. It's going to be dry all night there, so you guys can go to sleep there in Nashville at any time this evening. You guys are not in any threat of severe weather tonight in the Nashville, Tennessee region. Going through tomorrow, though, like say for tomorrow morning, very dry, mixed sun and clouds. In Nashville, we hope for more cloud cover tomorrow. So unfortunately, you may not like a cloudy day, but tomorrow is the day you want to have a cloudy day there if you live in Tennessee, because otherwise we're going to see these big storms develop right over Nashville, or maybe just to the west of Nashville by about a county or two by mid-afternoon tomorrow. This is 2-3 o'clock. And those storms could really start to bubble up and produce some significant severe weather as they mature, as they move through downtown Nashville and then east down I-40 towards Cookeville, Crossville, and then toward the Knoxville region as we go into the late afternoon and evening, becoming more linear. So the widespread damaging wind threat will kick in, large hail, but the tornado threat will actually maximize near Nashville because you see those discrete cells developing around 2, 3, 4 o'clock. And then they'll push east, becoming more linear, so the damaging wind hail threat will go up. The tornado threat will begin to slowly decrease in intensity and coverage. So we'll keep an eye on those areas there. Again, I appreciate everybody joining here this evening. We're doing live coverage for tomorrow already. We're giving you guys the forecast on what you can expect tomorrow. We could have a high risk upgrade. That is definitely a possibility. For any of you wondering, up in Ohio, it's possible. Not a slam dunk, but there is a moderate risk of severe weather. Rare tornado outbreak for the Ohio and Tennessee River valleys down into the deep south tomorrow. Look at this line of storms even. We haven't covered Mississippi, Alabama much here. Let's look at the timing down here as well for our friends in Tupelo, Huntsville, Birmingham, and Jackson, all these areas. So again, just like Tennessee, very dry through tomorrow morning. Midday, we're watching a broken line of supercells developing from around just east of Memphis through Tupelo all the way down to Greenville there in Monroe, Louisiana, and just west of Jackson, Mississippi. And then these storms will start to grow into a line, or at least a broken line, as they push through Tupelo and Jackson through 4 or 5 o'clock. They'll enter into the Florence region around 4 o'clock or so, and then Huntsville and the Birmingham, Tuscaloosa region by the dinner time frame and the evening rush. We could be talking widespread damaging winds. Very heavy rain, lots of lightning at the very least, but damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. And then more storms develop further south, Tuscaloosa down there toward Laurel, into Mississippi, into the Hattiesburg area, Gulfport, down to New Orleans. We definitely could be seeing some very strong storms. Those will push through Montgomery tomorrow around the late evening, early overnight hours. And then we see them move into Atlanta. Atlanta will be dry all the way through late evening. So around 10, 11 o'clock, we'll start to see them move through Atlanta. A few hours there, and then by about 2, 3 in the morning, Atlanta will clear out with those storms moving to your east, and will be starting to dry out in the Atlanta area going into the overnight hours there into Wednesday morning. So hopefully if you guys live into Mississippi or Alabama or Georgia, I answered a lot of your questions there about the timing of the storms just now. Otherwise, rewind it so you guys can see what I was just talking about. And definitely that's what we're seeing. The tornado threat tomorrow is large. Again, for those of you joining, this is what a tornado outbreak looks like. And it's a large scale one. So let's look at tomorrow's tornado threat as we see it now. Again, this will update at 1 o'clock in the morning Central Daylight Time, as the Storm Prediction Center is centered out headquarters over there into Norman, Oklahoma. It's Central Time. That's why it comes out at 1 in the morning Central Time. So you do see 15% significant tornado risk, moderate risk driven tornado potential up there in Ohio as we go into your Tuesday. Down into Kentucky, Middle Tennessee, and Northern Alabama, 10% significant risk there. 4 significant tornadoes. EF2s are stronger all the way down to Nashville, Huntsville, and Florence as we go into your Tuesday time frame. But overall, the tornado risk, 5% goes all the way to the Gulf Coast. This goes to Mobile, Panama City, Tallahassee, and almost the 2% gets down toward almost the New Orleans region. So very large event. Look at this area. If you are in green or any of these colors, you guys have a threat for a tornado tomorrow. Where there's a number, there's the potential of tornadoes. Again, thank you guys so much for joining. Looks like we got over 500 people here. Again, if you are new here, make sure to subscribe, to like the live stream. We're getting closer to 500 likes. Would love to get to 1,000. So all 536 of us here in the live stream, I would love for you guys all to press the like button if you do so choose. It really does help out more than you know. Obviously, I can't tell you to exactly, you have to press the like button or anything, but if you would like to help out, and it's a big thing to do, helping to get this information to more people so they do stay safe for severe weather, you guys can so choose to press the like button or not. So thank you guys so much. It's been a long day, folks. We've had a lot of severe weather today across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, down into the Plain States here. I need to get a good night of sleep here shortly, so we can wake up tomorrow and go over this outlook again on live stream and then have a video forecast tomorrow. But let's see here. You're needing rain for your garden? Well, we've had a lot of rain in the Midwest, so we'll have to wait and see. Near Chattanooga? Chattanooga's you're into the significant 10% risk of tornadoes there, I would say, in Chattanooga, and really very close to Knoxville as well. The Knoxville region, very close. So yeah, you have a 10% risk there of hatched risk for tornadoes, strong tornadoes there. You have a 30% wind risk. Again, you're very close to the hurricane force wind gust potential. You might as well. I mean, you're probably within 25 miles of that, so you have a hurricane force wind gust there potentially in Chattanooga, 75 miles per hour or greater, and then the 30% wind hail risk of 1-inch diameter hail, that's quarter size hail or larger there, into the Chattanooga region on Tuesday. That would be tomorrow. I have no idea, Smiling Fox. Will you? I'm not sure. Your guess is as good as mine, to be quite honest with you. Could there be tornadoes? Yes, obviously. There's a tornado outbreak happening tomorrow. I know your question means well, but, I mean, there's a tornado outbreak tomorrow, so yes, tornadoes will be possible in Kentucky. Let's see here. Is Louisville, Kentucky getting any tornadoes? When do you think? Louisville could get some tornadoes tomorrow. You're in the 10% hatched risk up here into the Louisville region, so definitely have a potential for some tornadoes, some strong ones tomorrow. Wind threat for you, hurricane force wind gusts. You have a 30% significant wind risk into Louisville. And then for the hail threat tomorrow, you do have the 30% chance for hail, and that could be quarter size or larger, and potentially that could extend further south. We'll see what the Storm Prediction Center does. The hatch risk for hail could extend further south into Kentucky. If that's the case, you could have hen egg size hail or larger. Would definitely be a potential there for the Louisville region. I'm going to zoom this out. You guys can see the outlook here. The red is a level 4 out of 5. That's up there into Ohio, extreme eastern and southeastern Indiana, extreme northern portions of Kentucky, extreme western portions of West Virginia. That's a 4 out of 5 on the scale. That's just a level down from a high risk. The orange is the level 3 out of 5, enhanced risk, extending all the way down through Kentucky, Tennessee there, into northern portions of Alabama, northwestern Georgia, and far northeastern portions of Mississippi. The yellow extends from near Detroit and Cleveland all the way down here toward Panama City and into the Tallahassee, Gulfport region, and into Mobile. That's a level 2 out of 5. Scattered severe weather there in that risk. And then the dark green from Chicago all the way south through Memphis, Jackson, and towards almost the New Orleans region, into Washington, D.C., Richmond, over there into the Delmarva region, Harrisburg, all the way up to almost Buffalo. We have a marginal risk. That's a level 1 out of 5. So just a large area here in the eastern U.S. needing to watch out for severe weather on your Tuesday. Could what limit the threat for tornadoes? Yes. Oh, okay. I saw your question beforehand there, Jordan. Yeah. So if there is more clouds there into Cincinnati tomorrow, if the clouds and the drizzle and the lighter rain continue through the day, then we could potentially see more potential for that to kind of squelch the atmosphere. We don't want to see sunshine up there in Cincinnati tomorrow. If we do, that'll enhance the tornado potential even more and the severe weather threat. Right now, Cincinnati is in the highest risk that you can have so far that is on this outlook. You have a moderate risk for severe weather, and tornadoes is a moderate risk tomorrow. You have a 15% risk of a EF2 or stronger tornado. You have a 30% risk of hurricane force winds of 75 miles per hour or greater, and you also have a 30% risk for hen egg size hail or larger, which is 2 inches in diameter or larger there. Saving your energy for 3 to 4 a.m. Good plan there, Terry. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate it. Have a good night. Thanks for joining. Yeah, Pittsburgh's in the enhanced risk for tomorrow. So you're in the enhanced risk. Again, that's within a 25-mile radius. So eastern Pittsburgh, you're in a slight risk. Western Pittsburgh and downtown, you're in an enhanced risk. Tornado threat there for Pittsburgh tomorrow is actually a 10% risk. And just west of Pittsburgh, near the Pennsylvania-Ohio state line and west, that's a 10% risk, and then increasing to a 15% risk of tornadoes of EF2 strength or larger. And we definitely could be seeing some damaging winds, 60 to 70 miles an hour, and some quarter-size hail or larger in Pittsburgh tomorrow as well. Again, thanks for joining, everybody. We're at 83,287 subs here on this channel. Make sure, again, we're making a big charge to 100,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button down below and helping me get to 100,000 subscribers. I'm hoping to hit 100,000 subscribers by summer, so I definitely appreciate that and your help to do so. Make sure to help out. Keep pressing that like button. Almost to 600 likes. We're almost to our goal. We're getting closer to 1,000 likes here, so I appreciate that. Let's see here. The Bluffton, what does it say? Bluffton, Ohio, the Findlay, Ohio, and Lima, Ohio. How likely tornado? Well, if you're in Ohio, there's the tornado threat. I mean, you're literally, besides Toledo in Cleveland, you're basically talking about a tornado that could be EF2 or stronger in the state of Ohio. So literally almost the entire state of Ohio has literally the chance of an EF2 or stronger tornado tomorrow, except for like near Lake Erie there, like Cleveland, and over towards like Toledo. That's literally the only areas that are really outside of the 10 or 15% hatch tornado risk. Otherwise, you still have a 5% chance of a tornado in Toledo and Cleveland, so you're not even all in the clear. The entire state of Ohio has a chance for a tornado tomorrow. The greatest chance is south of Cleveland and Toledo. What's the risk for Marysville, Ohio tomorrow? So let's look at Marysville here. Again, if you're just joining, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, folks. We're getting close to 1,000 likes. Thank you so much. We're making a big charge to 100,000 subscribers. I can't do it without you, so I appreciate it, folks. So we're looking at Marysville, Ohio here. We had a question about that, I believe, just a moment ago. I got to find it here. You're outside of Columbus. Yes, Marysville, you're right in the middle of every single significant risk tomorrow. EF2 or stronger tornadoes, 75-mile-per-hour wind gusts or stronger, and 2-inch or larger diameter hail. That's hen egg size or larger there for the Marysville region. So we're watching that in Ohio tomorrow. Timing for the strongest storms will be during the evening hours. So again, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Watch that out for the strongest storms in Marysville. But there could be a couple rounds of storms in the morning, midday, and then again during the later afternoon and evening. Did you see how models seem to be pushing that tornado threat a little more west? What's your thought on that? Is the 0Z even out yet? Let's see. Did the NAM 3KM come out? Then okay, you must be. Are you talking about the NAM 3KM NWW 116? I think you may be talking about that. If that's what you're talking here, let me remove this real quick. That's a very good point. They seem to be pushing further west, so let's take a look at that. I wasn't aware of that, but thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Composite reflectivity. And of course it's not fully loaded in. Why would it be? So let's see. Well, it doesn't go. It's not fully loaded in yet. Let me look at the 12KM here. The 12KM is not going to be very helpful though, and it's also not fully loaded. So, okay, there's the 0ZH All right, so that must be what you're talking about. Never mind. I got it here. Let's see. It's not fully loaded. It's 75, 80% loaded, but we'll look at it here. So let's see. The tornado threat further west. So here's the new data, guys. Okay, well, here's some new information. See, this is why we look at models. This is why it updates every single hour, the HRRR. So the complex of storms has a couple more showers and storms developing through Ohio and Indiana through 9 a.m. That could kind of squelch the atmosphere a bit. Oh, wow. Look at that. 3 o'clock. Well, look at that, folks. There's just storms everywhere. Look at that. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But yeah, you're right. Further west into Indiana there. And, wow, look at that line of storms. We got some big arcing supercells there from Fort Wayne down to like Cincinnati and Louisville. Let's look at the SIG TORs on there, the significant tornado parameters here. Okay, let's see here. See what's changed. See what's changed since earlier. Well, we're still seeing some high values. What I have noticed, if anything, is yes, you're right. The tornado potential has shifted a bit further west, which is interesting. And also, it looks like the tornado threat, I guess it hasn't really come down on the significant tornado parameter, but it kind of has, I guess, a little bit. But, I mean, we're still talking about values of 5 out of 10s. We're still talking about like 4 out of 10s, like Louisville region, still like 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10. So, I mean, there's still some good values here, but we're probably not, you know, again, we're going to see multiple model runs come in on this here, and we'll keep an eye on it. Let's see now. Let's look at the 3KM here and see what that's showing, and let's see if it's even loaded in yet. Of course, it's not yet. Come on. So we'll wait on that. But yeah, the HRRR is interesting. Let's look at the RAP model. Is the RAP model loaded in here? The 21Z. That's fully loaded in. Let's look at the significant tornado parameter on the RAP model here. Does fairly well. I mean, the RAP model at 21Z was showing exactly what the HRRR was showing, almost basically at 18Z. So, I mean, the RAP model's still up there. We're talking, you know, 3s, 4s. So, yeah, I mean, it still looks like a moderate risk day for severe weather. Maybe a little further west. They might pull that enhanced and moderate risk maybe a little further west into Indiana, maybe eastern and central Indiana toward Indianapolis, maybe, with the new data that I'm seeing. So I'm glad NWW 116 brought that up. Definitely good information to look at there, so thank you. Yeah, definitely agree that that tornado threat has shifted a little bit further to the west there. Let's look at the reflectivity here on the RAP model real quick. Again, I'm seeing this the same way that you are here, so it's kind of, I'm seeing this for the first time, so yeah, those storms, yeah. Oh, Indiana looks to be more in line too. So if this, you know, if this new data, it looks like this in the morning, I would definitely be shocked if they didn't pull that moderate risk a little bit further to the west. or at least that enhanced risk a little bit further to the west. So we'll keep an eye on that. Again, folks, just joining, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to my other channel, North Central Weather Center, which is also at the top of the live stream chat. Definitely appreciate it. See, we're up to 806 on there, so I appreciate that. With what I'm seeing, probably not a high risk, because some of those values did come down. So probably not talking a high risk now for what I'm seeing in the new data, but you know, I think a moderate and enhanced risk does it well, pretty reasonable. I don't see a high risk upgrade right now. Actually, I think earlier's data was more in line of getting a high risk than what we're seeing now. So that's good news. It's downtrended a little bit with some of our ingredients, but they could still uptrend overnight into tomorrow morning. So that's why we look at this. This is a forecast. It's a prediction. It's not an exact science. So that's why we try to understand the atmosphere as best we can, but no human on Earth can understand completely 100% what Mother Nature can do. So that's why we have weather models. That's why we have observations stations and balloons, weather balloons, and stuff like that. Oh, you are, Luna? That's cool. What time are the storms going to start for Pittsburgh? Later on after midnight, I do believe. So let's look. This is the new data here. The HRRR at 0Z. So for Pittsburgh up here, we're looking at after around midnight, 2 a.m. in that time frame, a round of storms, another round around 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe another round around just south of you at 11 a.m., then a significant dry spell, and then more complexes moving through at 7 p.m. tomorrow, and then another round at 11 p.m. So like 4 or 5 rounds of storms there in Pittsburgh between. So round 1, it looks like around midnight to 2 a.m. Round 2 looks like between about 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. Round 3 looks to be around 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Round 4 potentially from around 9, 10 p.m. through about midnight, 1 in the morning. So it looks like 4 to 5 rounds of storms there for Pittsburgh. And I would imagine a flash flooding risk would be a big deal there with multiple training rounds of convection and thunderstorms moving over the same area over and over again. So a lot of saturated soil out here, that's for sure. Once upon a time, the Ohio River Valley was dry, and it looks like we're making up for lost time. It was pretty dry a couple months ago through the Ohio Valley, our soil, but now we're definitely getting lots of rain and moisture through here. So that's good news. We just don't want it all at once. So what's it looking like in Middle Tennessee? Storms. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to look through here. So tomorrow's going to be pretty dry. The new data is showing that looks pretty nasty. Actually, I think tomorrow's data looks a little nastier for Tennessee than it did earlier, actually. So for like Nashville, like it still looks like about 2, 3 o'clock. And then that line of storms coming through, it looks like almost 2 lines. One other line tries to develop over Nashville tomorrow evening, so we'll keep an eye on that. Thank you, NWW116, for your $9.99. Keep up the great work, man. Sorry this ain't much, but we all appreciate your help. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Again, go subscribe to NWW116. He is a great YouTuber. He does some great work over there, and he does live streams like I do. So thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the $9.99. Definitely, it's not much. It's not much you say, but it really is a lot. It really is. $9.99 is more than I could imagine, man. So I appreciate it. $1 is more than nothing. So I you didn't have to do that. Is Indiana getting hit with tornadoes? Potentially tomorrow afternoon. So like up here in Indiana. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's do this in Indiana. Let's see what's happening. All right, so let's go back here to the west. Let's look here at Indiana. So we're looking here. So first and foremost, we got to get through these complexes in Indiana through tonight. Complexes of storms, that is. So this is like the first complex comes through Indiana literally right now, should be. I haven't looked at the radar. And then the second complex, a little more intense, a little more enhanced flash flood potential. I think around Indianapolis and southbound. I think the strongest storms here will actually be across the southern flank here against the better instability. We have more inflow here to the south, so I think more of those storms will be intense, maybe embedded tornadoes south of Indianapolis. Up here to the north of Indianapolis, this is more of a flash flooding, rain setup. Fort Wayne to Muncie to the Terre Haute region, Fishers, those areas. I think that's more of a flash flood setup, but we're watching the southern flank. You can see those reds and deeper purples down here, some hail and damaging winds. Then we go through tomorrow. Another round comes through Indianapolis there around daybreak. We get a break, and then bigger storms try to initiate already late morning, lifting north, and then just a ton of storms moving through. Literally each one of these could be supercells producing tornadoes, or they could just be weaker storms that are just garden variety. If the storms in the morning squelch the atmosphere, we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Again, thanks folks for joining. I definitely appreciate it. If you are here and you are clear, if you are here, thanks for joining. First and foremost, again, we are doing live tornado outbreak coverage that continues through tomorrow. We have tornado outbreak, severe weather outbreak that is ongoing here for today. And we're not doing radar coverage for that right now. We're talking about tomorrow, but you can see a lot of severe weather tomorrow potentially. And again, subscribe to the channel, like the live stream. We're almost to 700 likes. We're almost to 1,000 likes. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Oh, thank you so much. Wow, look at that. $99.99. Thank you so much, Joe Bama. Hello to you. Happy April Fool's Day. Is that an April Fool's joke? The $99.99? No, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. You did not have to do that, man. So thank you for the $99.99. Generous donation. I really appreciate it, guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Sorry, folks. I'm just looking here at the storm reports coming in here for tonight. I'm gonna try and see if I could pull that up here. Let me see it in just a moment. All right. Let's just keep answering some questions here. So thank you very much, sir. Love your work. Keep up the good. Absolutely, I'll keep up the good work. That's what we're here for every single day of the year. New video update comes out tomorrow, folks. So if you are here tomorrow, new video update in the morning. We have a live stream tomorrow morning, likely. So we'll be going over the latest details on that as well. Scottsville, Kentucky. Let's see what Scottsville, Kentucky's got in store here. Scottsville, Kentucky. Let's see here. Yeah, sorry, my southern accent isn't as good as you thought. But I used to live in Naples, Florida. You wouldn't know because I have a Midwestern accent. I actually live in Northern Illinois right now. Again, if you folks don't know, my name is Hunter. My name is Hunter here at Weather on the Go. So if you guys don't know my name, now you do. So let's look at Scottsville, Kentucky. We had a question there. So you're closer to the Tennessee state line. So Scottsville, Kentucky, you're in that enhanced risk of severe weather tomorrow and a 10% hatch risk for tornadoes from the latest update here. So let's look at that. So it looks pretty dry through tomorrow, and then it looks like we have some scattered supercells moving through late afternoon, 4 o'clock, and then it looks like we're going to clear out after that, and maybe a line at 8 o'clock, and then after that we fully clear out. So looks like between about, we'll say 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. is when your biggest threat for severe weather is there in Scottsville, Kentucky. All modes of severe weather, damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes, and some stronger tornadoes will be possible for your area there. What's happening here, folks? We have 737 people on here, and we only have 637 likes. What's wrong with that picture? Come on. No, I appreciate, guys. Thanks for being here. Again, we're looking at some... let's actually turn this over to the type of snow here. Let's look at the precip type. There we go. Hey, look at this, folks. I know, I'm so mean. Look at all this snow up here. Look all this snow up here. I'm so mean. You can say Hunter's mean. He's showing that 4-letter word snow again. Unfortunately, yes, we got snow on the way here for Wisconsin, the Badger State, all the way down into the Hawkeye State, and into southeastern Minnesota as well. We definitely have the potential for a couple inches of snow here as well. Definitely see that potential, and I really think we could have some, late season surprise snows here in Wisconsin. We could be talking easily like, several inches potentially. Look at this. We even get some heavier snows in the western suburbs of Chicago. This is on Tuesday evening, folks. Rockford, down into Dubuque, down into Madison, Milwaukee, Oshkosh, Appleton, Green Bay, Marionette, Merill, Sheboygan, Kenosha, Milwaukee. All these areas get some heavier snow. That'll wrap around toward northern lower Michigan there, and then that'll continue. We got the deformation snow band central here, folks. Look at this. Deformation snow central. This goes all the way through Wednesday morning here on the HRRR. Let's look at the snowfall totals. I know you guys are going to think I'm mean by looking at snowfall totals on here. I'm sorry it's April, but April can throw you a curveball. Yes, look at this. Look at this. How do you like that for early April, folks? 13 inches of snow there northwest of Milwaukee. 10-to-1 ratio snow. Or how about up here into the UP of Michigan? How about that 2 feet of snow just about there into the Marquette region? 21, 22 inches near Lake Superior. Definitely looking at that as well, potentially. Yes, I do. NWW 116. Do you want it? Is that what you want? Let's see here. I gotta find it first. I haven't used it in a while, if I'm gonna be quite honest with you. So like all the information I have in it, I really don't know. Just be honest, and we'll just be clear about that. But sure. I'll do you have an do you want to put your email in the live stream chat? I can email you, or you can email me. Just actually email me. How about that? How about I'll put my email down here for you, so you can email me about the Discord stuff. Be easier. That's my email. I just typed it in. Weather on the Go 20 at yahoo.com. So go check out my email there. You just message me on email, and I'll respond to it later. Mason, Ohio. Yeah, let's check out Mason, Ohio. Let's get the mean snow out of here, right? Let's get that out of here. We're tired of snow. We're tired of snow. Sorry, snow lovers. We're tired of snow. All right. Mason, Ohio. So let's look at Mason, Ohio here for severe weather. We're done talking about snow, I promise, folks. Northeast of Cincinnati here. Okay, so yes, you are in that moderate risk for severe weather there, and it looks like we have a chance of some tornadoes. Again, like I said, all modes on the table here. Strong tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. And it looks like the threat there will already begin this evening with a complex moving through, potentially with stronger storms in Cincinnati. Daybreak on Tuesday, more storms through mid-morning. If we clear out, then we could have some more storms, and maybe, it's showing some deeper purple, some blues here. Could definitely be talking about some, afternoon storms that could be turning severe. And then, again, a lot of these areas are just going to see multiple rounds of storms. So it's not like I can give you like a clear, hey, you're going to see storms at 8 p.m. Well, you're going to see storms in Cincinnati really on and off all day. And literally all of them that pass through could be severe. That's really all I can say. Just make sure to remain weather aware all day tomorrow in Cincinnati. There'll just be rounds of storms in the morning, maybe a little break around midday, and then additional rounds into the afternoon and evening as the cold front and triple point of the storm system moves through. The triple point meaning the low pressure system, the warm front, and the cold front move through. And folks, this is what we look at here. So let me actually draw this on the screen. So we got a warm front set up, and I'm going to draw this in red. Actually, I'm going to draw this in orange. So the warm front will be in orange. The warm front is going to be draped up here something like this near the lake. And then we're going to have a cold front in blue here, kind of extending down like this. And then we have a low pressure system. We'll draw that in red real quick up here, and we're actually going to have a low pressure system likely passing through Illinois that's going to move into Indiana somewhere as we go in towards Tuesday with a low pressure system. Here's what the deal is. It's like a vacuum. If you're not here earlier, this is what I was telling you. We have a low pressure system airflow is counterclockwise. With high pressure systems, it's clockwise. So the air around high pressure system move kind of like this. That's not what we're seeing tomorrow. So we see more of a counterclockwise. So we have surface winds, what we call backing towards the low pressure system, or what I call vacuuming towards the low pressure system. We have the winds moving back towards that low pressure. And then in the mid levels of the atmosphere, we'll do it in lime green, we have very strong flow of winds over top of that. And that's what you call wind shear. You have the rolling motion in the atmosphere, and that's what creates those rotating supercells. So that's what the triple point is very important for. You have the most dynamics up here in the triple point of this storm setup. And that's with any triple point that you can see. Usually for severe weather setups, you have to look for those backing of the winds. Usually you have winds coming in out of the south-southeast, south-southeast, southeast, or east. And then you have those more or less southwesterlies in the jet stream on the mid levels and the low levels. And that actually creates the wind shear. That's what wind shear is. Changes of direction with height. So that's a form of wind shear, and that is something we're going to see. So wind shear is very big deal for tornadoes. You need a lot of that for tornado rotation. Akron, Ohio, sure can. Let's look here at Akron, Ohio. The timing up here for you in the Akron area. Let's look at this. So 5, 6 a.m., we're seeing a complex of storms moving through. This is mainly just going to be a heavy rain setup. I could see some flashes of lightning and some smaller hail from this, but overall, a little bit more of some heavy rain moving through Akron tomorrow morning. Moving into the midday, pretty dry, actually seeing potentially a mix of sun and clouds. We don't want to see the sun in Akron tomorrow, because that means severe weather will be cooking up into the afternoon and evening, and we have some severe weather, I think, anytime between about 3 p.m. and it looks like about midnight there into Akron. So a 9-hour period or so for severe weather potential in Akron as we go into northeast Ohio through tomorrow. 3 p.m. to around midnight is your best chance for significant severe weather. Looks like the morning hours is mainly going to be just some lower end severe weather or just overall some very heavy rainfall, kind of priming the atmosphere for what's to come later in the day. Evansville, Indiana. So let's go down here and look at Evansville. We got a question about that. Look at the timing. So Evansville, Indiana, we got this complex of storms moving through in the morning. Could have some stronger storms here. Yes, they could be tornadic, but I think this will mainly be a hail and hail and damaging wind threat. Tornado threat should be low. Then we'll see potentially tornado threat later in the morning increase, but the best tornado chance there for Evansville tomorrow would mainly be early afternoon. And I think, though, the main tornado risk will be to your east or northeast towards Indianapolis, Louisville, or Cincinnati, but we'll keep an eye on that in Evansville. Again, I can't really give you a, exact time of when these storms will move through. It looks like the best chance for thunderstorms on Tuesday would be between 5 a.m. on and off all the way through 5 p.m. That's really your 12-hour window of seeing the potential for storms and severe weather in the Evansville region. 700 likes. There we go. We're 300 away from, hey, look at that, 701. We're 299 away now from 1,000 likes. So I appreciate it. Again, folks, if you guys haven't liked the live stream yet, make sure to hit the like button. Would love to get 1,000 likes on here. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Denny Meyer, for the $199 donation. Thank you guys so much. Again, you guys all are amazing for being here. Even if you're not donating, I definitely appreciate you guys all being here. All the donations I appreciate very much. Thank you so much. Again, Denny Meyer for the $199 donation. Appreciate it. Thank you. You're welcome, Mr. Pilgrim. Let's see here. Thank you, NWW. Appreciate it. What about, oh yeah, I see Charleston, West Virginia on here. I think we went over this a few times. Again, the timing, that's mainly what we're going to be going through. We all know severe weather is possible in Charleston, and we all know it's all modes. Hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes. So let's just go through the timing. So it looks like the morning hours pretty dry. It's mainly to your north around midday. Could see a complex of storms. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a little bit further south maybe than what the model shows. And then as we go through mid-afternoon, late afternoon, evening, that's when your best bet will be along that cold front. I think your best overall coverage of storms for Charleston will be between about 5 p.m. and it looks like about 1 o'clock in the morning. So that span of time there, 5 p.m. and 1 a.m., so mainly just the evening hours is your best bet there. Thank you, Chloe Phillips, $5 donation. How is Moorhead, Kentucky looking tomorrow? I'm scared. Well, don't be scared. We don't want you to be scared. Just be aware. Be weather aware tomorrow. Don't be scared. How is Moorhead, Kentucky looking? So let me actually look up where Moorhead, Kentucky is because I don't remember. So just one moment here. Okay, so you're in eastern Kentucky. So here you are, down in this general vicinity, east of Lexington and Richmond. So we have dry morning for the most part. Outside of a stray shower or storm through daybreak, I really don't think you see any severe weather tonight. Going into tomorrow morning, mostly dry. Could have maybe a storm to your north. Again, this may be further south of Ashland than it actually shows on this model. This is just a simulation. But your best coverage of storms and severe weather, which could be significant, would be late afternoon into the evening. So I would say between about 3 p.m. and it looks like about midnight is your best chance for severe weather. So about a 9-hour span there. 3 p.m. to midnight in the Moorhead, Kentucky region for potential severe weather. And again, all you folks that have questions, we'll answer more questions tomorrow. We'll have another live stream likely in the morning, and we'll also have a video forecast for you tomorrow on the main channel here, Weather on the Go. If you guys are in the north central U.S., make sure to subscribe to the second channel. That is at the top of the live stream chat. That is North Central Weather Center. We cover those forecasts on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and the weekends if needed for higher end severe weather or higher end snowfall or something like that on that channel on the weekends if needed. So thank you guys so much for your support. Hunter, what time is Mason, Ohio expecting severe weather? I thought I already did Mason, Ohio already. I could be wrong. You should rewind the live stream. I thought I did Mason, Ohio already several times. But I can do it one more time here for you. I feel like I've done Mason, Ohio about four times tonight. But hey, you know, we're answering questions. Might as well do it. Mason, Ohio, the Cincinnati area. So basically, like I said, rounds of storms through tomorrow. I can't really give you an exact time because you're just going to see so many rounds of storms. But it looks like maybe one round after midnight, the best round coming through around daybreak. And then you have on and off storms through the morning, but then the main event will be during likely the afternoon into the evening. So we're talking the strongest potential for severe weather in Mason, Ohio between about 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. tomorrow. So about that 4 or 5 hour window there, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. That is your best chance for severe weather there into the Mason, Ohio region. Again, folks, we're almost to 1,000 likes. We're getting close. We're still so far away. Please help. We're almost there. I promise you. I'll stop nagging you about liking the live stream if we can just hit 1,000 likes. I promise you. You want Hunter here from Weather on the Go nagging you the entire time for 1,000 likes? Just hit the like button, please. If you just hit the like button, I'll stop asking. Just hit 1,000 likes, please, and I'll stop asking. No, okay, so let's see here. How's Sullivan, Indiana looking for tonight and for today and tonight? Well, today's over, so tonight will look like Sullivan, Indiana. I think that's what, Indianapolis area? Let me look for sure. All right, so we're looking at... Oh, actually, I was wrong. That's down into southwestern Indiana. So, all right, let's go back here to southwest Indiana. We had a question about Sullivan, Indiana here. So let's look at that. Timing-wise, we got a complex of storms moving through over the next few hours. This will be mainly after midnight. Flash flooding threat will be possible with this, but also some damaging straight-line winds, hail, and a few embedded tornadoes, even at like 2, 3 in the morning. And then I think we have a break and then more storms, maybe some isolated storms through the afternoon, but the strongest storms will be east toward Indianapolis, Bloomington, and Cincinnati. So a couple rounds through tomorrow. All right, we're getting somewhere. We are 8:07. So again, I'll stop asking once we get to 1,000 likes. I promise you. From now on, folks, when you come onto my live stream, make sure to hit that like button. Every time I do a live stream, I'm always going to want 1,000 likes. So just remember that if you're new to this channel. And again, the reason why we do this and we nag so much about likes is because we need more people on here to become informed about severe weather. So I appreciate it. You sent me an email. I'll look at that later, KJ. Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's go down here into eastern Tennessee for timing. It's going to be dry here into the Knoxville region for most of the day until about afternoon, like really evening. So it looks like between about 4 p.m. and about the midnight time frame is when we're going to see the best chance of storms, and some of them could be severe. Again, all modes, damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. It looks like the tornado threat will be a little bit more elevated toward middle Tennessee versus eastern Tennessee, like toward Nashville, Murfreesboro, and down here into the Lawrenceburg, Cookeville region. I know a few years ago, unfortunately, Cookeville had a very large tornado. Hopefully, we stay safe tomorrow down there and we know what to do for that in case that does happen again. Hopefully, it does not, though. So we'll keep an eye on that. Lorain, Ohio. Let's look at Lorain, Ohio real quick here. Question about that. You're all the way up here by Lake Erie. I wouldn't be too concerned up there if you live toward Cleveland, like in the Lorain region for tornadoes, but I still think some heavy rainfall will be possible through the morning. And, just clearing out maybe later in the day. There could be some tornado potential as we go through the early evening hours, but that'll be a brief window for the Lorain region between about 6 and 9 o'clock. And then after that, your threat for tornadoes will go down significantly. But I'm not really looking at anything too significant for Lorraine. Just the fact that you're right next to Lake Erie. But I think really, honestly, the threat for tornadoes will be there. It's just not as great as, say, central or southern Ohio. But I still think like 6 to 9 o'clock would be your best bet for any of the stronger tornadic storms tomorrow evening for Lorraine, Ohio. Let's see. Cumberland, Virginia. So we haven't covered Virginia very much, so let's do that real quick. Cumberland, Virginia. All right. So just west of Richmond. Okay, so let's do that real quick. So let's go over here to Virginia, home of the Cavaliers. So let's look here at the Virginia region. And we are seeing the chance for some storms as we go through the afternoon, maybe into northern Virginia, north of Harrisonburg, up toward Romney there, and in towards Romney actually might even be into West Virginia. I just can't see the state line because I'm blind. But around 2 o'clock in the early afternoon, could be seeing some showers and storms to the north there. And then it looks like the threat for some storms will be moving east as we go through Virginia. These are actually not going to be as severe as they move through Virginia. I could see, some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and some quarter-size hail, but as long as you stay indoors in Virginia, you should be fine. I really don't think you're going to see anything too significant there in the state of Virginia, especially there into the Cumberland, Virginia area. Just be watching out for some 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail. This will mainly be tomorrow evening into the overnight hours into Wednesday morning. Pennsylvania. So let's go up here to Pennsylvania. We see some showers and storms up here into Virginia, up here into Pennsylvania as we go through tomorrow late morning. That'll move through Scranton. That'll move through Philadelphia. And then we'll see more storms. It looks like western Pennsylvania is going to be the highest threat for severe weather overall towards Pittsburgh there. That'll be coming in tomorrow evening, and potentially the most significant severe weather for western Pennsylvania between 6 p.m. and about midnight is your highest chance there, and that'll be around the Pittsburgh region. Oh, folks, we're still waiting to even hit 900 likes on the live stream. What is happening here? Do I have to keep nagging? Western Tennessee. We already did Western Tennessee. We already said, all right, let's just do it anyway. I know, I feel like a broken record sometimes. I'm losing my mind because I've been talking about the same areas over and over again. I guess that's what happens when you do a live stream. So, all right, so let's do this real quick here. So like west of Nashville. So we're talking like Clarksville, Jackson, Tennessee, down to Memphis. So that's what we're looking at. So around noon time frame, can't rule out a shower or storm. Could be severe. I think the initiation will be there in western Tennessee. Honestly, Memphis, very possible you may not even see a drop of rain tomorrow. That's literally what it could be like. Or you could see a severe storm in Memphis. You're right on the line of the severe weather, right along the Mississippi River on east tomorrow. Watch that. The more mature storms will be heading towards the east, towards Middle Tennessee, Nashville, Murfreesboro, down towards, say, the Lawrenceburg area. So we'll watch that. But right now, it doesn't look like super significant severe weather for western Tennessee, but I do still think the chance is there for tornadoes, damaging winds, and some large hail. It's all good, NWW. I absolutely. It is what it is. It is what it is. We're just trying to get the information out, right? So, I just went over to Virginia earlier because I haven't talked about Virginia much. I know I haven't talked about the Carolinas much or anything, so it's all good though. Everybody comes in at different times. South of Flint, Michigan. So Flint, Michigan's not going to see anything severe tomorrow. There's a 0% chance of severe weather, I'm pretty sure, in Flint, and if there is, it's very like a marginal risk. I don't really see anything up there. We're looking at mainly some heavier rain, and honestly, you may even have some snow as you go into Wednesday. So here comes that snow on the backside of the storm. You're kind of in that dry slot, though, as you go into Wednesday morning. So the biggest storm threat for the Lansing and Flint region would be tomorrow evening, so from 6 p.m. to about 10 p.m. I would not be shocked if we saw some like marble size hail or pea size hail or some cloud to ground lightning or anything like that up in Lansing and Flint and Mount Pleasant and Muskogee over there into western portions of Michigan, but I don't see anything like super significant. Same thing for Detroit. You're in the marginal, the slight risk. You're very close there. I don't really see a opportunity for tornadoes in Detroit. Maybe an elevated supercell that could produce larger hail, quarter size or larger, but I don't see any significant tornadoes for Detroit, and I don't see any super strong winds for damaging winds in Detroit. Just mainly an elevated hail threat there. Mansfield, Ohio. So let's go over here to Mansfield, Ohio. So let's look at the timing here. Mansfield, Ohio there, you can see again, we're going to see the complex of storms moving through in the morning, and then as we go into the afternoon hours, we're going to see more storms percolate to the west, and then they'll move through as we go into the evening. We're mainly looking at the most severe time frame for Mansfield is looking to be about 4 p.m. to about 10 p.m. So that 6-hour window or so, we're keeping an eye on that. 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. there in Mansfield for severe weather. Significant severe weather that would be for that region. Again, if you are just here and you have not subscribed to this channel, whether on the go or the channel pinned at the top of the live stream chat, please do both. Also like the live stream so I can stop asking. Please, thank you, please. That's all I ask. We're almost up to 1,000 likes. We're getting close. Thank you, Denny Meyer, for the $1.99 donation. Do you see, or do you see a warming trend in Northwest Indiana the next 30 days? I would think so. As we, the next 30 days would be literally, like May 1st? So, yes. Yes. Is that an April Fool's joke? I couldn't tell if it was or not. But if it was, then you got me there. That was a good one. But if that's a real question, then yes, I do see a warming trend, obviously, as we go deeper into April and then into May. So probably more 70s and 80s coming up for northwestern Indiana eventually as we get closer to May for sure. I know a lot of people are probably getting annoyed with me asking about likes, so they're leaving the live stream. I get it. I get it. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Louisville, Kentucky. Let's look at the timing here for Louisville, Kentucky. And you can see here the timing for Louisville. We're talking probably, most of the complexes of storms will move north of you. This will be like the early morning hours of your Tuesday. And it looks like the best chance for storms for Louisville downtown area will be like mid-morning, 9, 10, 11 a.m. and then through the afternoon. This will be the threat for tornadoes that could be violent, long tracked. For Louisville, this will be during the mid-afternoon, so kind of centered around that 3 o'clock time frame. So that's kind of the time frame we're watching there in Louisville. Southwest Ohio, same thing. Several rounds of storms in Southwest Ohio. Morning threat, afternoon threat, evening threat. So just kind of, again, I can't give you a clear time frame there really on Southwest Ohio because of multiple rounds of storms. So all I can say is just remain weather aware tomorrow. Rounds of storms will be possible in the morning, midday, and into the afternoon and evening. So several types of time frames of storms. 3-4 rounds of storms, definitely a possibility there. Hey, if you're just joining, folks, we're almost to 84,000 subscribers. If you could help me get closer to 84,000 tonight, that would be awesome. I would appreciate that. And again, we're so close. I promise I will stop asking to get to 1,000 likes. We're almost there. We're up to 937, it looks like now. So I appreciate that. If you're just joining here, make sure to press the like button down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's see here. Thank you, Crazy Cat. Crazy Cat says thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Elizabethtown, Kentucky for tomorrow. Yeah, I can look that up real quick. Elizabethtown. I think we already covered that earlier, but I can do it again. And south of Louisville, Elizabethtown. So let's look at that here. Timing for storms. You can see we're talking, again, it's one of those things, multiple rounds of storms. I can't give you a clear-cut time frame, just other than saying be weather aware through tomorrow. We could be seeing storms in the morning and then kind of a break, but then more storms. The most intense storms will be afternoon into the evening, so we're talking like 1 o'clock through like 9 p.m. So 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. is your biggest potential for severe weather there, it looks like, into the Elizabethtown, Kentucky region. Just be on the lookout through most of the day. Hey, weather on the go. How's St. Louis looking for the rest of the night? Yeah, let's look at St. Louis. We haven't looked at St. Louis. Thankfully, somebody calls out of town that we haven't seen in a while. Let's look here at St. Louis. Yes. St. Louis, we're looking at the threat for some severe weather as we go deeper into tonight still. We still have a complex of storms moving through the midnight time frame potentially. I haven't looked at the radar here recently, but we have a complex of storms moving through after midnight, maybe another complex on a weakening trend moving through St. Louis before daybreak, and then it looks like potentially a couple storms that are isolated through late morning, but then after that, the afternoon will be drying out in St. Louis, and we'll see a dry end to the day. So the Tuesday time frame will start off very noisy with showers and storms, and very soggy with some showers and storms. And then later in the day, the storms will leave St. Louis, and we'll say goodbye to those storms, and we'll be drying out in the St. Louis region later tomorrow afternoon. And while St. Louis is dry, yes, I know I'm very mean, everybody. I'm very mean, but yes, snow will be possible. This is not rain, even though it looks like rain up here. This is not rain. This is all snow up here into Wisconsin. I know I'm very mean. I'm saying the four-letter word snow, but hey. Green Bay, Appleton, Oshkosh, Milwaukee, Kenosha, Racine, Madison, Rockford, Illinois, Dubuque, La Crosse, Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin. All you folks will likely see accumulating snow. Yes, early April snowfall. You're welcome. Weather on the Go is so mean. He's bringing snow to Wisconsin. No, but yeah, that's what we're seeing as we go into your Tuesday evening time frame and into Wednesday. We have the threat of some deformation snow on the backside of our low pressure system, because our low pressure system is going to begin to occlude, which means it's going to slow down and it's also going to weaken. And then eventually, I know I'm not done being mean yet, but over here into the Northeast, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, and northern Massachusetts could see a foot or more of snow. We could have a swath of 12 to 18 inches of snow again, but especially into Maine with that 18-inch snow potential as we go through that Friday, April 5th time frame. So a big storm system, not just for tornado potential and severe weather, but some deformation snow on the backside. So definitely seeing that potential as well. Hey, look at that. We're 19 likes away from 1,000. Thank you guys, all 909 of you, for being here. I definitely appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel down below. We'll keep you covered here. You have any questions, put it down in the live stream chat. We'll answer them. For those of you just joining, we're doing live severe weather coverage, tornado coverage here this evening. Thank you, Joey, for the $4.99 donation. What does it look like for the Ansted, West Virginia area for tomorrow's event? It is a small town, so it may take a while to find. No worries, we'll do it for you here. So we're looking at the Ansted, West Virginia area. It won't take as long as you think, so that's some good news there. Okay, so you're like south and east of Charleston. So there we go. We found it real quick. So thank you for, again, letting me know about the Ansted region. But looking here at Ansted, south and east of Charleston, let's look at the timing for tomorrow's storms. And it looks like the threat for severe weather will begin. It'd be nice to see the timing, wouldn't it? All right, so let's look here at the timing for storms. Looks like mainly during the afternoon we have a chance of some storms, but it's mainly an evening event for you. The storms may be on a weakening trend slowly, but we could see maybe some damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes during mainly the evening hours. So late afternoon, evening. I'd say between 4 p.m. and about midnight is your best chance for severe weather there in the Ansted, West Virginia region. So thank you again for your $4.99 donation. I really do appreciate it. And thank you. We finally got to 1,000 likes. I promise you folks, I will stop asking now. Thank you so much. I made you that promise. Iowa's not going to see any severe weather tomorrow. We're just going to see some snow. So again, the mean hunter from Weather on the Go is back. Talking snow here. So northeastern Iowa, yes, Cedar Rapids to Rochester, Waterloo, and Dubuque. Those areas are going to see some snow as we go through tomorrow into Wednesday. This is 2 o'clock in the morning. Look at snow. It could be snowing everywhere in Wisconsin at 2 in the morning going into Wednesday morning, except for up here north and west of Eau Claire, between like Duluth and Minneapolis, St. Paul. So the entire state of Wisconsin could be seeing ongoing snow at 2 o'clock in the morning there almost as we go. And same thing with the UP of Michigan. Almost all of the UP of Michigan seeing snow potential there at 2 in the morning on Wednesday morning. Crazy April weather, isn't it? Crazy April weather. Is this weather an April Fool's joke? You know how many times I've heard that today? Come on. Come up with something different. Come up with something different. Is this weather an April Fool's joke? No, this weather's not an April Fool's joke. We definitely do have the potential, though, for a tornado outbreak tomorrow. That is not an April Fool's joke because that is on April 2nd. So see what I did there? Ohio. So let's look at Ohio as we go into tomorrow. So we're talking about, we're just going to look at the whole state here. So let's just break down the whole state of Ohio as we look at the timing for tomorrow for the threat for severe weather. So we got rounds of storms going through Ohio, Bellefontaine, Columbus, Chillicothe, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Akron, Mansfield, Toledo. All those areas are going to see Dayton. I forgot Dayton. Dayton, Ohio could be seeing some heavier rain as we go through daybreak tomorrow. And then as we go through the morning hours into the afternoon, here we go, supercells. This is our best bet for widespread significant tornadoes, damaging straight line winds of hurricane force that's 75 miles per hour or greater, and also the threat for some very large hailstones. Again, the greatest threat in Ohio is all day really, but looks like mainly 3 p.m. through about 10 p.m. in most of the state of Ohio. 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the entire state of Ohio. That's where we have to be on high alert for severe weather tomorrow. How does Winchester, Indiana look tonight? Again, thank you, Kyle, for your $1.99 donation. I appreciate it. So let's look at Winchester, Indiana. Winchester, Indiana. Check it out here. So you're east of Muncie. So you're eastern Indiana there. So there you go. We're looking at eastern Indiana. So let me look back at what your question was here. How does it look tonight? So tonight for your area, we'll just look into tomorrow as well while we're at it. So looking here at tonight, storms won't be moving into your area. Actually, it may be storming right now in your area very well. I haven't looked at the radar, but if you're not seeing any storms right now, you will here in the next couple hours to after midnight. Very heavy rain overspreading after midnight, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, still raining all the way through around 9 o'clock. And then we'll see a dry time, and then the most significant weather will be moving through in the afternoon, centered around about 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon in your area there. Into the Winchester, Indiana area. We could be talking about some significant tornado potential. The significant tornado parameter values have actually shifted just a bit further west. This includes more of eastern Indiana, so that's where we could be talking about potentially more of that moderate risk being extended further west. or that enhanced risk at least being extended a little further west. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Some of the trends in the latest HRRR have been trending some of these supercells a little bit further west into Indiana, so like towards Muncie, Fort Wayne, maybe the downtown area of Indianapolis, down toward Bloomington there, and Louisville. We'll keep an eye on that. See if they pull that enhanced risk further west or that moderate risk moves further west. We'll see. Waterloo, I don't think Waterloo, Iowa, you're going to see some snow. If you're talking about snowfall, I can look at the snow totals. Here we go again. Mean Hunter from Weather on the Go looking at snow totals. So let's look at, we can look at snow totals all day long if you want here. No, I'm just kidding. But we'll look at the snow totals real quick. Going through tomorrow and through actually Wednesday. So let's go all the way to the end of the run here. And yes, unfortunately, we potentially, if you're not a snow lover here into Wisconsin, from Green Bay to Madison and everywhere in between, Oshkosh, Appleton included there in Wisconsin, we could be seeing up to a foot or even 13 inches of snow. Foot to 13 inches. And then look at that Marquette up here. Big winners up here into the UP of Michigan. 24.5 inches of snow. Have fun with your 2 feet of snow in Marquette. I will be in northern Illinois enjoying a couple inches. So up here in like Rockford, Illinois, 4 inches of snow. And then further south of I-80 in Illinois, we're talking a dusting to an inch. And then for like Waterloo, you guys are asking about Waterloo. No severe weather for you, but if we're looking at the snowfall, you could see up to an inch of snow in Waterloo, right at an inch, potentially through your Wednesday evening time frame. So again, all you folks that live in Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan, I offer you guys the greatest sincere apology for your snows, your snow potential. If you are not a snow lover, I sincerely apologize for showing you the snowfall total map. And I also apologize to you folks that may be seeing a lake effect snow up in Marquette, Michigan, into the UP of Michigan. That could be talking 2 feet of snow by Wednesday night, and snow blowing and skiing and shoveling and whatever else you guys do up there. So again, enjoy that while it lasts. It is early April and you guys are still getting some heavy snow, and it's not done. We can go over to the NAM model here, and I could be even more mean and show you the 12 km NAM model and what it's spitting out for snow in the Northeast here for you folks that want to know that. So let's look here over at the Northeast. We got any folks over here? Yeah, look at that. We thought we were done with the snow over here. What is going on over? What is happening over here? Wait a second here. Wait a second here, folks. This is not right. We're not going to get like an apocalypse of snow over here, are we? What is the NAM model doing? What is happening over here? Wait a second. Okay, the NAM model's broken. I declare the NAM model's broken. There's no way Green Bay is seeing 76 inches of snow. So just disregard. I don't even know. What is going on with this model? Let me refresh this or something. This is not right. Hey, NWW116, if you're still in here, did you check out the NAM model? I don't know what's wrong with the NAM model, but it's gone crazy. I'm not even gonna. I don't know. We might not look at the NAM model for the Northeast. I might have lied. As it's spitting out 75 inches, that is literally not going to happen in Green Bay. And I'm honestly, I don't even know. What is this showing up here? Okay, this is more realistic. I think probably about a foot to a foot and a half. That's what we were thinking here for the Northeast, like Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and upstate New York. Look at me. I'm over here talking about snow, and you folks are like, Louisville. You guys are talking about severe weather. I get it. I know. You guys don't want me to talk about snow anymore. I'll go back to the HRRR. I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry. It's not an April Fool's joke. That wasn't an April Fool's joke. There will be snow. The April Fool's joke, I think the NAM model's doing an April Fool's joke on us, putting 75 inches up there in Green Bay. Bringing back 1983-84. What's happening? All right, so let's get to your questions here. Louisville, I've seen Louisville in the chat about 4,000 times. So let's go down here to Louisville real quick. So let's look here at the timing for storms in Louisville. If you guys are just joining, and let's go back here to the, okay, so the 2Z HRRR is out. Let's look at the 1Z. This is the newest data from just like half hour ago or so, and you could see almost an hour ago actually. And we got some storms moving through the Louisville region, potentially really just north of you overnight. We may not see any storms in Louisville till about 8 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll see storms on and off all the way through about noon. And then more storms developing near the Louisville region or northwest of you in the afternoon. So kind of looking like the storms may not begin for Louisville. If that complex stays to your north overnight, we may not see any severe weather in Louisville until about noon time frame. Or maybe just a bit, 10, we'll say 10 a.m. We'll say 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m. in Louisville, and then the severe weather continuing through 6 p.m. So 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's what we'll look at. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. in Louisville. Please do not spam my chat. Cohen, thank you so much. Again, I see your question. You don't have to put it down there 6 times. I appreciate it, though. Can you do Middle Tennessee for a tornado risk? I can. But please do not spam my chat. I appreciate it. Just giving you a fair warning there. Okay, so Middle Tennessee for tornado potential. I guess we could go back to the outlook. We haven't looked at this in a while, so let's talk about something a little different besides looking at timing for a second here. So let's go back to the Storm Prediction Center outlook and look at the tornado probability for tomorrow. You're talking below Nashville. I'm assuming you mean south of Nashville, so we'll do that. You can see a 10% hatched risk of tornado potential south of Nashville there, all the way down to Florence, Huntsville, and Chattanooga, and even Murfreesboro as we go into tomorrow. This could change a little bit depending on what happens with what the Storm Prediction Center does overnight tonight. The new outlook comes out at 1 o'clock in the morning, as Norman, Oklahoma is actually in Central Time because they're in Central Oklahoma. Go figure. And they'll have an outlook come out at 1 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, your tornado potential there is 10% south of Nashville for Tuesday. Again, just joining here, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. We're almost to 84,000, so I do appreciate it very much. We're going to go live a lot more this season, this severe weather season, for forecasts of what you can expect this severe weather season. So if we aren't live streaming the event and looking at radar, we will be forecasting these events beforehand, days beforehand on my videos. So that's what we're going to do on this channel. We'll have a video out tomorrow morning for sure. So again, if you are new here, we're going to have a video forecast out for you on Weather on the Go tomorrow. If you are new to this channel, subscribe, like down below. And also, again, press the subscribe button at the top of the live stream chat. My second channel, North Central Weather Center, if you are from the Midwest, the Northern Plains, the Central Plains, the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, I highly encourage you, highly recommend you to subscribe to that channel, because we do videos on that one on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and also during the weekends if needed for higher end events such as ice storms, snowstorms, cold air outbreaks, heat waves, stuff like that. So we'll be doing that on that channel. That's North Central Weather Center. And we're getting very close to 1,000 subs on that one as well. Looks like we're up to 813. So thank you for subscribing, for anybody that has done so. Okay, let's get back to the questions. I have no idea about that question there about Cincinnati. No, I have no idea. Sebastian, I appreciate your support. Thank you. What time frame for Western Pennsylvania? So we'll go to the timing real quick before we, I guess we'll do that. So let's look at this. Let's go to Western Pennsylvania real quick here. So if we're in Western PA, let's look at the timing for storms. The composite reflectivity here, this is the 01Z. I don't know how far this goes out. We'll look. If we can't go as far out, okay, well, we'll go to the 0Z because this goes only out to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we know storms are going to go past then, so. Let's look here at, okay, so we're midnight time frame here, 3 a.m. So 3 a.m. we could be seeing storms in Pittsburgh. So we'll be watching that back toward Wheeling. And then we'll be seeing storm complexes after storm complexes after storm complexes through about 9 o'clock in the morning. And then we'll start to see supercells moving through as we go later in the day. Maybe another potent complex of storms tomorrow evening. And these could produce damaging winds, hail, and some tornadoes. Again, multiple rounds of storms. Flash flooding risk will be there. The strongest storms will be during the later day, peak daytime heating. That's where we will be watching for the potential for some damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes. The greatest for western portions of Pennsylvania, we're talking about 6 p.m. to midnight. Baltimore, I don't think Baltimore is going to see very much severe weather. You guys are in like a marginal to slight risk. You're probably more looking at along the lines of 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail, maybe a tornado, but I think the hail and wind threat is much larger there in Baltimore. And really, a lot of these storms won't be moving into Baltimore until the afternoon. And then the evening hours, we could be seeing some stronger storms rolling through like Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, back towards the Georgetown region. Keeping an eye on that for damaging winds and large hail. And then you can see that extending back to the east there again. We'll just keep seeing on and off showers and storms for Baltimore all the way through Wednesday. And even during the day Wednesday, Baltimore, yeah, you could be seeing severe weather Wednesday afternoon. So there you go. If you don't see severe weather tomorrow on Tuesday, you could be seeing some severe weather on Wednesday there in the Baltimore region in Maryland. So I like Maryland. Maryland's cool. Maryland's cool. All 50 states are cool in the United States. So, which city has the highest tornado potential tomorrow? Well, every city in Ohio, except for Cleveland and Toledo, pretty much. We'll go there. So let's go back to the tornado probability for tomorrow, since you ask. And let's pull this up here real quick. Here we go. Here's the tornado potential. So here's we got a 5% shading up here for tornadoes in Toledo and Cleveland. And we have a 10 and 15% probability of strong, long track, and violent tornadoes. We're talking EF2 or stronger variety for all these areas there in Ohio, pretty much, besides Toledo and Cleveland, like near the lake there. If you're talking about who has the highest chance there of tornadoes, well, everybody in red here. Lima, Bellefontaine, Mansfield, Akron, Canton, Wheeling, Parkersburg, West Virginia, Chillicothe, Hamilton, Cincinnati, Dayton. We'll zoom in even more here. Springfield, Lancaster, Logan, Georgetown, Portsmouth, Athens, Georgia, Findlay. All those areas will have the highest chance of tornadoes tomorrow in the entire United States. But look at this tornado outbreak, folks, tomorrow. This is no joke. And you know tomorrow's not April Fool's Day. But look at this. Tornado potential from Detroit all the way down to New Orleans and Panama City and Tallahassee tomorrow. All the way, that entire real estate. Literally every square inch from Detroit to New Orleans could have a tornado potential tomorrow. Not like a slam dunk. Not everybody in this area is going to see tornadoes. I honestly think pretty much 10% of us could see tornadoes tomorrow in this entire area combined. But really, I mean, where there's a number, there's a chance. Okay? But, you know, like for example, like into Ohio here, 15% chance of tornadoes. That means basically 15% of us in this area could be impacted by an EF2 or stronger variety tornado. It's kind of what that means. It's kind of a probability of seeing that. Manchester, Tennessee, Zach asks. Let's look at the Zach. Let's look at the Zach's question there. Manchester, Tennessee tomorrow. So Manchester. Let's look at Zach's question. Manchester, Tennessee. I had to look at it twice. You're south and east there in Nashville. Yeah, you're in a 10% hatch risk for tornadoes tomorrow, so you have to watch out for some stronger long track tornadoes. You are in that enhanced risk of severe weather. Excuse me, into that area. We're looking at a 30% risk for hail, so we're talking about a quarter-size hailstones or larger there. And then we're looking at wind. The wind potential, 30% hatched wind potential there as well for that region. So we're going to keep an eye on that. That is for tomorrow. In Mansfield, Tennessee. I have a question about Chattanooga. Ivy asked Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Northeast Alabama. For sure. Let's look at that. Let's look down here at Chattanooga. So Chattanooga, let's start here with the tornado potential. So Chattanooga tomorrow is in that 10% hatched risk for tornadoes. We could be seeing a strong, violent tornado potentially near or into the Chattanooga region. There's a potential for that, at least with the latest outlook. We also have a 30% chance of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds in Chattanooga, also into northeastern Alabama there as well, according to your question. And then back down here to the large hail threat, the 30% chance of large hail for quarter size or larger, that's an inch in diameter or larger. That does include Chattanooga, northwestern Georgia near the Rome area, and Dalton, Georgia, all the way down into northern and northeastern Alabama, Florence, Huntsville, Jasper, Gadsden, and zooming it in more here, the Decatur region. So that's what we're keeping an eye on there for that region. Fort Wayne, Indiana, we're not going to see really anything like super significant there in, like, you know, for example, in the morning hours is mainly just heavy rain, but looking at the tornado potential there for Fort Wayne, we do have a 5% shading for tornadoes, so it's not the greatest tornado chance. The greatest tornado chance as of now is east and southeast of Fort Wayne, maybe by about 20 miles, so we'll keep an eye on that. The wind threat for Fort Wayne, we do have a 15% chance of 58 mile per hour winds or greater, so essentially 60, 70 mile per hour winds will be possible there. 15% chance of that in Fort Wayne. And the hail threat is also 15% of that 1 inch diameter, that quarter size hail or larger, into the Fort Wayne area on Tuesday. Folks, we're almost to 84,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are new here, like the live stream down below, give it a like, the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel here. We'll have a new forecast video out for you folks tomorrow morning. Also subscribe to the other channel, my second channel that is pinned at the top of the live stream chat, North Central Weather Center. We cover the North Central U.S. on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and during the weekends if needed. Jackson, Tennessee. Let's move down here to Jackson, Tennessee for you folks. So Jackson, Tennessee's, I believe this is the wind risk. Let me look here real quick. Let's look at the tornado risk first. So Jackson, Tennessee, we have a 5% chance of a tornado within your area there in Jackson, Tennessee tomorrow. The wind risk tomorrow in Jackson, Tennessee is a 15% chance of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds in Jackson, Tennessee. And the hail threat tomorrow is a 15% of quarter size or larger there into Jackson, Tennessee tomorrow. So that is the threat there for severe weather. That's kind of the initiation point of storms there in Jackson, Tennessee, is right over your area. And then the storms will mature as they move into middle and eastern Tennessee, as they move east down I-40 there towards downtown Nashville, Clarksville, Murfreesboro, and the Lawrenceburg region. We'll see that moving even further east, Cookeville, Crossville, the Cumberland Plateau, the Smoky Mountains, and eventually those storms will enter into the Appalachians as we go later into tomorrow evening and overnight. Again, thank you all to all 1,400 of you watching here. If you guys all haven't liked the live stream, all 1,400 of you, I encourage you, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. Middletown, Ohio. Let's look at that. Middletown, Ohio. All right, so that's southwest of Dayton, Ohio. So let's go up here. Yeah, you have the threat for all modes that are actually all significant, I'm pretty sure. I'm 100% sure on that, actually. So you have a 15% chance of a tornado of EF2 strength or stronger. That could be all the way up to EF5 strength tomorrow. The wind threat tomorrow is also significant. 30% chance. 30% chance of hurricane force wind gusts of 75 miles per hour or greater for the Middletown, Ohio region. And also the hail threat tomorrow is 30% and significant, which means hen egg size or larger. We could be talking about those 2-inch hailstones or larger in that region, in the Middletown area tomorrow. Muncie, Indiana. Muncie, Indiana, let's look at that real quick as well. We've covered this a few times, but let's go back and for any of you guys who are new joining here. So Muncie, Indiana is in a 10% significant risk for tornadoes. So you have a 10% chance of an EF2 to an EF5 strength tornado tomorrow in the Muncie region. You have a 30% hatched wind risk in Muncie. You're within 25 miles, so you could of that region. So you guys could have a hurricane force wind gust 75 miles per hour or greater. And we also do have a hail risk that is a 30% chance of significant hail, hen egg size or larger again too. So 2-inch larger hail diameter there into Muncie. So all significant modes of severe weather in Muncie there tomorrow. Let's look at Miller, Missouri. Miller, Missouri, actually, we'll look at tonight's threat that we still have over there. Missouri's not really in a risk for tomorrow, but we can look here at Miller, Missouri for tonight's probabilities. So you're kind of over towards the, between Springfield and Joplin there. So you're like in southwestern Missouri. So we'll look at the probabilities in Miller, Missouri for tonight that is left over. So the tornado threat tonight there, still a 10% hatched risk for tornadoes. So that means that we have a 10% chance of an EF2 to an EF5 tornado tonight. For the wind threat there, hurricane force winds possible 75 miles per hour or greater there into Miller, Missouri there on for tonight. And then we have a 30% chance of significant hail, hen egg size or larger, still going on tonight there in Miller, Missouri. So all significant modes of severe weather still ongoing there for Miller, Missouri tonight. And again, I appreciate everybody liking the live stream. Smash that like button, everybody that is here. Make sure to hit that like button as fast as you can. I do appreciate it. More people in here. We'll answer as many questions as we can. We're going to go as long as we can tonight. As long as I stay awake, folks. We're going to go as long as I can here. Got to wake up nice and early tomorrow as well. But it's 10:12 Central Time, 11:12 Eastern Time. We'll go as long as we can here tonight. But make sure to smash that like button. I appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Let's look at Dresden, Tennessee. We got a question about Dresden, Tennessee here, so let's look that up real quick. Again, these smaller towns I'm not familiar with, so I apologize. So we're looking at Northwest Tennessee. So that's tomorrow's probabilities. We still have some lower on threat for some storms here in Tennessee tonight, but those are really small chances. I think tomorrow's threat is much bigger. So let's look at the tornado threat in the Dresden area. In the Dresden region, you are north and east. You are in a 5% chance there for tornadoes in Dresden tomorrow. We also have a 15% chance of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds tomorrow. You're basically in the Dresden area. You're in the kind of the initiation point of storms, like the initiation area of where those storms will develop. So those storms will start to mature as they push east towards the I-40 corridor, like east towards middle Tennessee. But you still have a 15% chance there for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, 5% chance of tornadoes. And the hail threat is also a 15% chance of quarter-size hail or larger. That's 1 inch in diameter or larger for Dresden. And the main time frame to watch is the afternoon and into the early evening. Thank you, Michigan Man, for the $2 donation. Chances the warm front pushes into Michigan tomorrow. I would say about like literally a very slim chance. That's all. I'm not going to put any numbers on it, but I'll say right now the warm front could get as far north as where that marginal risk goes. So if we look at the categorical outlook from the Storm Prediction Center on their day 2 outlook, the marginal risk pushes all the way up there just south of the I-94 corridor, south of Kalamazoo, Ann Arbor, and Detroit, and it pushes into portions of far southern lower Michigan. So we're talking about like the Bedford area, Three Rivers, Coldwater, Sturgis, Adrian, Milan, Monroe, Hillsdale, Jonesville. Those areas, you have a marginal risk of severe weather. With your question specifically, I see chances the warm front moves into that area pretty small, I think. And if any severe weather occurs in those areas in that marginal risk, just south of Detroit, Kalamazoo, and Ann Arbor, it's mainly going to be for some elevated supercells capable of hail. I don't see any tornado threat really up there. I don't really see any damaging wind risk up there. If the warm front pushes further north than expected, then sure, I could see that slight risk lifting further north, and then the tornado threat would increase for the bottom tier or 2 of counties there in far southern portions of lower Michigan. But I don't think those bottom 2 tiers of counties will really be affected by tornadoes or damaging winds. It's mainly just for some larger hail potential. That's what we're seeing. Yeah, absolutely. I see that. Yeah, the latest HRRR, the 0Z, has storms further west. That's what we were talking about earlier. That's why I think they may extend the enhanced risk a little bit further west to include the immediate Indianapolis and maybe Fort Wayne area, and then maybe pull that moderate risk a little bit further west as well to include more of, say, Muncie and maybe closer to the eastern side of Indianapolis and maybe Fort Wayne. So we'll continue to watch that to see the information come out here with that in a few hours. The Storm Prediction Center will be updating that at 1 o'clock in the morning Central Time. Do I think Ohio could go under a high risk? It's possible. With the information I was seeing, maybe. I don't think it's a great chance. I think a moderate risk will probably be reasonable enough. But honestly, regardless of the severe weather risk, whether it's an enhanced risk, a moderate, or a high risk, whatever is issued for tomorrow, it really doesn't matter the categorical risk. Everybody is at risk for severe weather here, and we still have the potential for some, destructive tornadoes even in the enhanced risk area. So regardless if you're in a high risk, a moderate, or an enhanced, you still have the chance of, strong, violent tornadoes nonetheless. Being a high risk, we'll continue to watch that. For tornado potential for tomorrow, for tornado potential for the Bowling Green area, you have a 10% hatched risk for tornadoes. That means an EF2 to an EF5 tornado will be possible in the Bowling Green area there tomorrow. And then we have a 30% chance of hurricane force wind gusts. So a 30% chance of wind gusts of 75 miles per hour or greater in Bowling Green. And we also have a general 30% hail risk. That could be quarter size or larger. So that's what we're seeing in Bowling Green tomorrow. So that's the threat in Bowling Green. Could they extend this moderate risk a little further southwest? They sure can. We'll have to wait and see what the update is tomorrow. Again, I'll have another weather forecast video for you folks tomorrow morning, again on that for you in Bowling Green and everywhere else. I promise you. Let's look at McMinnville, Tennessee. We have a question from Jordan here about McMinnville, Tennessee. So let's check that out. Again, if you're new here, you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, smash that like button. We're almost to 1,300 likes. I appreciate it. So let's look at McMinnville. So down here just into the McMinnville, it's eastern Tennessee. You're in that enhanced risk for severe storms there in the McMinnville region. And we're actually looking at a elevated threat for tornadoes in the McMinnville area of Tennessee. That's eastern Tennessee. So we have a 10% risk of tornadoes there in McMinnville. The hatch risk is just to your west. We have a wind threat there of around 30% hatched risk there for near the McMinnville region. So we have hurricane force wind gusts 75 miles per hour or greater. And then the hail threat for the McMinnville region is 30%. So we have a threat for quarter-size hail or larger there in that region as we go into McMinnville there on Tuesday. So you have an enhanced risk for now. We'll see if this gets downgraded or upgraded as we get closer towards tomorrow there in eastern Tennessee. But I definitely think middle and eastern Tennessee have a better chance of severe weather overall than western Tennessee, say Jackson, over there towards the Memphis area. A little bit less of a severe weather threat, but you're still there. Where there's a number, there's a potential. So let's look here at the Bradford, Ohio region. I see Lawrence Farmer putting that in there, so let's look at that as well. So Bradford, Ohio. Again, I'm trying to get to as many questions as I can. You guys can always ask questions after the live stream is over, so don't hesitate to do that. I'll answer as many as I can, even after the live stream is over, I promise you. But Western Ohio, you are in a moderate risk of severe weather there. You're in a level 4 out of 5. That's just one level down from an enhanced risk. You have all modes are significant. The tornado threat is 15%. You have a 15% chance of an EF2 to EF5 tornado tomorrow. You have a 30% chance of hurricane force wind gusts tomorrow that are 75 miles per hour or greater. And you also have a 30% chance of hailstones of hen egg size or larger, which could be, up to 2, 3, 4 inches in diameter. So we'll continue to watch that tomorrow in the Bradford, Ohio region. So thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Wheeling, West Virginia risk. Let's go over here to Wheeling. So Wheeling, West Virginia is just south and west of Pittsburgh. You have a, let's look at the categorical risk here for you. You are basically right on the line. You are technically in the enhanced risk, but the moderate risk is literally 10 miles down the road to your west. And you can see the tornado risk for Wheeling is actually a 10% hatched risk, but the 15% hatched risk is just literally like 5-10 miles to the west of you down the road. So you're basically, I would just say basically 15% risk for EF2 to EF5 tornadoes. And then the wind risk is 30% for hurricane force winds, and the hail risk there is 15% or 30% chance for a quarter-size hailstone or larger. The significant hail risk is just to your west. Weather on the go, Geneva, Ohio. So let's look at Geneva, Ohio. Again, folks, smash that like button. I definitely appreciate it. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, let's try to get to 2,000 likes. How about that? We're getting closer to 1,500. I know that. But let's see. Where were we going? Geneva, Ohio. So let's do Geneva, Ohio next. Okay, you're all the way up here into far northeast Ohio near the Lake Erie shoreline. So let's look here at your categorical risk of severe weather. You have a slight risk of severe weather. So slight risk up there. And then you have a 5% chance of a tornado. So you have a little bit less of a chance of a tornado up there into the Geneva region. And then looking here at your risk for wind, damaging winds is a 15% chance of winds of 58 miles per hour or greater. So essentially 60 to 70 mile per hour winds potentially there, 15% chance for that. And then you also have a 15% chance of quarter-size hail or larger. That's 1 inch in diameter or larger for Geneva, Ohio. Do you think Louisville, Kentucky could go into the moderate risk area? Let's check this out. Let's see how close the moderate is to Louisville here. So you think Louisville, Kentucky will get into the moderate. Let's just look here. I I think it's possible. So the latest trends in the HRRR that we were looking at earlier actually had those supercells firing a little further west into western Indiana. So I could see them pulling the slight and enhanced further west and maybe pulling the moderate risk a little bit closer toward Louisville. I don't know quite if Louisville will get into the moderate risk or not, but definitely it could be close. Louisville right now is officially in a level 3 out of 5. And you have a 10% chance of a significant tornado that's EF2 to EF5 strength in Louisville. The Louisville region for wind is also 30% chance of hurricane force wind gusts there. That's 75 miles an hour or greater. And then the hail threat is just a 30% chance of quarter-size hail or larger. So that's what we see there in Louisville. Again, just joining, make sure to hit that like button. We're almost to 1,500 likes. I appreciate it, folks. We're just doing, again, rare tornado outbreak coverage here, just going over the forecast for tomorrow. A dangerous day ahead for severe weather. Looks more dangerous tomorrow, unfortunately, than it did today and also tonight. So that's what we're seeing here for the Ohio River Valley, all the way down here into the Tennessee River Valley and Southeast. Let's look at the tornado threat again. Just zooming this picture out. We haven't done this in a little while. Look at the tornado threat across the east here. Where there's a color, there's a risk. Detroit all the way to New Orleans and Memphis to Charlotte. That is our threat for tornadoes tomorrow. So a large real estate here could see tornadoes. And just look at the area that has a hatched risk. Whether it's a 10% hatched risk of significant tornadoes or 15% hatch risk of tornadoes, we definitely have a very significant area of tornadoes from Ohio, eastern into southeastern Indiana, western West Virginia there, down into Kentucky, middle and eastern Tennessee, and into far northern Alabama there. Very large real estate. We could be talking EF2, EF3, EF4, even EF5 tornadoes potentially tomorrow. Hopefully not. But that is the risk. And we literally could be seeing tornadoes all the way down in even Jackson, Mississippi, New Orleans, very close to New Orleans there, Mobile, Gulfport, down towards the, so like I said, Mobile, Gulfport, Hattiesburg, Laurel, into Mississippi, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Atlanta, Montgomery, down into the Dothan area, Tallahassee, Panama City, and Pensacola, over there into Augusta, into Columbia there, into portions of Charlotte and Greenville, Asheville, going all the way up to Roanoke, Greensboro. We see that tornado threat extending up into Harrisonburg, Romney. We even see that extending into portions of central Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Erie, Pennsylvania, keeping an eye on them. And again, just south of Detroit over there, south of Kalamazoo and Ann Arbor, South Bend, and even very close to Cook County here in Chicago. Literally just down the street, you may have a 2% chance of tornadoes in Portage, Indiana there, and South Bend. So that's the areas we're watching as well. So a large area of severe weather and tornado potential tomorrow. That is what we're looking at here for portions of the United States. So if you know any family members, especially here, so let me kind of go back to the categorical outlook here. If you know any family members, if you know generally where they are in any of these states that are especially in these colors, green, yellow, orange, or red, make sure to give them a call, a text anytime tonight or tomorrow, and let them know that severe weather could be significant for their area and to remain weather aware, as this could be one of the more dangerous days we have seen, especially for Ohio, in a couple of years. So it is definitely something to keep an eye on here. You don't get a moderate risk of severe weather every day, that is for sure, especially up here into Ohio. It's pretty rare, pretty uncommon. New here, folks. If you guys are new here, subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button for Weather on the Go. Smash that like button. We're almost to 1,400 likes. Again, also, subscribe to my second channel that's pinned at the top of the live stream chat. It is North Central Weather Center. We cover the North Central U.S., the Northern Plains, the Central Plains, the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Ohio Valley right there on that channel. We'll have another video on, what's today, Monday? We'll have another video on Wednesday, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and the weekends if needed on that channel. All right, let's look here at Hazel Green, Alabama. So we got a question. We haven't looked at Alabama in a while, so let's look here at Hazel Green, Alabama. So let me look it up and see exactly where that may be. Just real quick here. So Hazel Green, just north of Huntsville. So yes, you're in an enhanced risk of severe weather there into the Hazel Green area as we go into your Tuesday, April 2nd. This is tomorrow, an enhanced risk. You have a 10% chance of an EF2 to an EF5 tornado tomorrow into the Hazel Green area. And let's look at the wind potential, the wind threat for Hazel Green. We have a 30% chance of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds there in Hazel Green tomorrow. And also the hail threat is a 30% chance of quarter size hail or larger. So you have the chance of a strong tornado. That's your best chance. Unfortunately, the best chance of severe weather tomorrow is for a strong tornado, so followed by damaging winds and hail. So the tornado threat in Hazel Green is actually the greatest threat for severe weather tomorrow for you, followed by damaging winds and large hail. How about Tennyson, Indiana? So let's look here at Tennyson, Indiana. So let's move back up into Indiana here. We got a question about Tennyson, just northeast there of Evansville. So let's look here at your tornado potential into the Tennyson, Indiana region. So if you're still here, we're talking about you in Tennyson, Indiana. We have a 5% chance of tornadoes there in Tennyson. We also have a 15% chance of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds in Tennyson, Indiana there on Tuesday tomorrow, and then the hail threat is also 15% of quarter size or larger. So that's what our risk is there for our probabilities of hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes in Tennyson, Indiana on Tuesday, April 2nd. Again, thank you for smashing that like button, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Benjamin Davis, Weather on the Go, you missed my donation. Oh, did I really? I'm so sorry, man. Thank you again for the donation that you sent. I did not see that, so I appreciate it. Thank you so much, though. How's Akron, Ohio looking? What timing is the most critical? I apologize for missing your donation. I really do. So thanks for the donation, and I'm sorry I missed your question here, so let's go to that. How's Akron, Ohio? So let's go to Akron. Let's look at the categorical outlook here for Akron, Ohio, and we'll look here at the timing for storms afterwards. So we have a moderate risk of severe weather there into Akron, Ohio on your Tuesday. That's a level 4 out of 5. We can look at the tornado potential there into Akron. We have a 15% chance of an EF2 to an EF5 tornado in Akron. The wind threat in Akron is a 30% chance of a hurricane force winds that is 75 miles per hour or greater. And the hail threat there in Akron is just a general 30% quarter size hail risk or larger. Timing for storms now. Let's finish the second part of your question. Which timing is the most critical? I believe, honestly, it will be mainly just the afternoon and the evening, but we'll look and double check just for sure. So let's go back here to, let's load this in real quick, the 0Z. So it looks like right now, storms in the morning in Akron, those likely will just be heavy rain producers, maybe some lightning producers as well. The main area to watch, I think, is late afternoon, so 4 p.m. to about 10 p.m. in Akron. So it looks like 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. So late afternoon through late evening is when the timing for that is. Greatest for, the greatest timing for severe weather potential in Akron, Ohio on Tuesday, April 2nd. So that's what we're seeing there. Here, give me 1 minute. I need to get a water real quick. I got a water over here. Gotta finish this real quick. So yeah, I gotta keep drinking water, otherwise I've been talking a while. So I appreciate everybody being here. I definitely do. Thank you for being here. On the road to 100,000 subscribers. I appreciate it. I live in a second-story apartment building in no basement. Really? Well, there should be a storm shelter nearby, in case storms that are tornadic move into your area. So hopefully there's a storm shelter nearby, since you live in a second-story apartment building. There should be a basement though in that apartment building though too. So make sure to know your plan for that. Let's look at Cynthiana. Kentucky, high risk. No, there's no high risk severe weather issued. Just a moderate risk there. And I don't know if Kentucky, I don't think Kentucky, unless you're in northern Kentucky, has that moderate risk. So yeah, you're just south of Cincinnati there. So let's look here. Here's your timing for it. In the Cynthiana region, we're talking about morning could have some showers and storms, and then some supercells moving through during the afternoon and evening. We could be talking about a widespread line of storms. So our best bet for severe weather in Cynthiana and Kentucky, south of Cincinnati, is between noon and it looks like about 8 p.m. So noon to 8 p.m. is your best chance. About an 8-hour window there for damaging winds, large hail, and some strong long-track tornadoes will definitely be a possibility for you. Again, we've been live now for 3 hours. I was actually planning on going live for just an hour or two, but hey, you guys are asking good questions. So, and it is a dangerous day, so we're gonna keep you updated on the severe weather as long as we possibly can here. My voice is unfortunately starting to hurt now, so I may have to wrap up the live stream here very, very soon, unfortunately, so I can save my voice for tomorrow. Again, we're almost to 1,500 likes. We only need 40 more, so I'd love to hit 1,500 likes here, at least before the end of the live stream. And again, if you have not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. We're almost to 84,000, folks. We're at 83,774. We'd love to hit 84,000 subscribers by the end of this live stream. So let's see if we can make our goal here. We got about 250 more people to subscribe. We'll make it. So if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, all 1,200 of you that are watching, or 1,100, make sure to subscribe to this channel down below. I appreciate it. Last question. Do you think storms tonight in Louisville will shift south? It's possible. Let's look here at Louisville real quick. So there's the storms in Louisville. It's possible that sometimes these mesoscale convective systems can have like cold pool loft with them, like a kind of an outflow boundary, essentially. So if that outflow boundary starts to turn more south, then that could make more storms build into Louisville. That would be after midnight and mainly towards your daybreak there on Tuesday. That's kind of what we're looking at for the Louisville region. Otherwise, we're going to wait for storms through the morning. Could have around there late morning. Those could be severe hail producers, and then the large hail, damaging wind, and maximized tornado threat would be there from Cincinnati to Louisville to Evansville, mid to late afternoon on your Tuesday. Schools are already dismissing early tomorrow. What times should we expect it to kick up around Tip City, Ohio? Let's look at Tip City, Ohio here. So you're north of Dayton. So Tip City, Ohio, you are in a moderate risk. That's why you guys have an early out an early dismissal, if you will, an early out for school tomorrow. You're in a moderate risk. That's actually a good call for the school district to have a dismissal early, because you're in a moderate risk of severe weather, and you have all three modes are significant. You could have an EF2 to EF5 tornado potential. That's a 15% chance. You have a 30% chance of hurricane force wind gusts, 75 miles per hour or greater, and you have a 30% chance of hen egg size hail or larger. Well, Marcus, that was the potential today. Just because, the forecast, sometimes it doesn't happen the way it shows. And, that's a good thing. We don't want EF3 tornadoes or larger. But, tomorrow's risk does look bigger for a tornado threat, and you have to take every single tornado threat seriously, whether it's a 2% chance of tornadoes, a 5%, a 15%, a 60% chance of tornadoes. Whatever it may be, you have to take it seriously. We have seen plenty of days that are marginal, slight risk days that don't look like big tornado days that produce some big tornadoes. Like the one in West Texas last year was a marginal risk, 2% day for tornadoes, and I believe it was an EF3 rated tornado into West Texas. I don't remember the city, but I remember that it did occur last year. I believe it was last year or the year before, but it was a marginal risk day for severe weather, and it was a 2% shading for tornadoes, the lowest shading for tornadoes you could have, the lowest probability, and there was, I believe, an EF2 or EF3 rated tornado there, so you can still see stronger tornadoes even though the probability is pretty low. How is the Ellijay, Georgia region? Let me look here at that. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. So you're north of Atlanta there. So let's look here north of Atlanta real quick. Again, if you're new here, smash that like button. We're getting close to 2,000 likes, and also subscribe. We're almost 200 likes now, away from 84,000 subscribers. We're 200 subscribers away from 84,000. So let's look at Ellijay. So Ellijay, northern Georgia, you're in a slight risk for severe weather there into that region north of Atlanta, so northern Georgia. And the Ellijay region has a 5% chance of a tornado in North Georgia there. We also have a 15% chance of some damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. And also we have a 15% chance of quarter-size hail or larger as well there. Let's look at Tiffin, Ohio. So Tiffin, Ohio, we'll see what the risk is for severe weather for you. I've seen that scroll across the comment section a couple times, so let's look at it. So between Toledo and Columbus here, yeah, you're essentially you're in the highest risk. You're right in the middle of the moderate risk of severe weather. So you have a 15% chance of an EF2 to an EF5 tornado in Tiffin, Ohio tomorrow. You have a 30% chance of hurricane force wind gusts, and you also have a 30% chance of significant 2-inch diameter hail or larger that's hen egg size or larger. So you have maximized threats for all three modes of severe weather tomorrow in Tiffin, Ohio. So make sure, again, stay safe. Have multiple ways to receive watches, warnings all day long there in that region. Birmingham, Alabama. Let's move south here into Birmingham. Birmingham, Alabama is very close to that enhanced risk categorical outlook for severe weather. I would consider Birmingham in the enhanced risk. So you're technically 25-mile radius. That's what they characterize as a risk within 25 miles of your location. So if you're in Birmingham, 25 miles of Birmingham, so you're in that enhanced risk of severe weather. That's a level 3 out of 5 there into Birmingham. The tornado potential for Birmingham is a 10%. So you have a 10% probability of a tornado that could be up to EF2 strength. We have a wind threat that is a 30% chance of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. And we also have a 30% chance of quarter-size hail or larger as well there for Birmingham. So a 30% chance for hail, 30% chance for wind, and a 10% chance for tornadoes. Again, folks, smash that like button. I definitely appreciate your support here on the channel. Thank you so much for all of your generosity here and all your support. I really do appreciate it, folks. You guys mean a lot. Again, we're getting very close here to 2,000 likes. Let's see here. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We've already covered that a few times, so let's go up here to Pittsburgh again. So for the Pittsburgh region, again, we're very close to the moderate risk zone. They're just to your west. So categorical outlook, you're in the enhanced risk for severe weather, but the moderate risk, level 4 out of 5, is just to the west of Pittsburgh. And we look at the tornado threat here for Pittsburgh. We have a 10% chance of tornadoes in Pittsburgh. The Hatch tornado risk is just west of downtown, literally 15 miles probably, or 20 miles down the road to the west. But we're looking at a 10% probability for tornadoes, a 30% chance of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds in Pittsburgh, and we have a 30% chance of hailstones of quarter size or larger for the Pittsburgh region there on your Tuesday, April 2nd time frame. Yeah, we're almost there, folks. We're getting close. We're about 150 subscribers away. So 150 more people to subscribe, and we'll be at 84,000 subscribers. We're getting so much closer here to 90,000 and eventually 100,000 subscribers. I definitely really appreciate it, folks. Central Indiana, Ashley Carter. Central Indiana tomorrow has a slight risk of severe weather. So if you're in Central Indiana tomorrow, you do have a slight risk of severe weather, an enhanced risk actually right just east of Indianapolis, literally like 10 miles down the road. And then you have a 5% chance of tornadoes in west central Indiana and a 10% to a 15% significant risk for tornadoes in eastern portions of Indiana tomorrow. And then looking at the wind threat, you're essentially a 15 to 30% chance of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds in central Indiana. And then hail threat there, you have a 15 to a 30% chance of hail that could be quarter size or larger in central Indiana again tomorrow. Really kind of centered around that Indianapolis metro area. All right, everybody keeps telling me I need to look at the radar here. So let me turn this off and let's go look at the warnings real quick, because somebody's telling me that we need to look at the warnings. So let's see here. Let me turn on the weather alerts again. Let's turn on the tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. Wow, we got a lot of alerts here, folks. All right, so let's look here at those tornado warnings. Let's look at the tornado warnings ongoing down here into Missouri real quick. We have an observed tornado, folks. So we have okay, that's what you guys were telling me. So we have an observed tornado. We may have to use a different radar site here just real quick. Let me see what we got here. That's not a good one. We have an observed tornado near the radar site. This does include Springfield, Missouri. So if you live in Springfield, Missouri, there is an observed tornado on the ground. We also have tennis ball size hail potential here for that region for Springfield, Missouri. Let's look here at the correlation coefficient real quick to definitely look at this. And again, it's so hard to see. It's very close to the radar site here. I was trying to find a new radar site because I knew this would be a problem. Again, this is so hard to see. There is definitely confirmation, though, of a tornado on the ground near Springfield, Missouri. So get the word out there, folks. Springfield, Missouri, we have a tornado on the ground, folks. This is late evening. We need people to be aware of this. So again, make sure to like this live stream, and we need to make sure that people know that there is a tornado on the ground, observed on the ground, damaging tornado in Springfield, Missouri right now. So let's see which way this storm is moving. And again, this is so close to the radar. I'm trying to find a radar site that is not like super far away that could still look at this storm here. Let's see if we can use this one. Let's look at the correlation coefficient again. It's just so close to the radar site. I don't see like any debris ball, but again, we're like so close to the radar site, it's hard to see here. So this tornado would likely be probably between Ash Grove. So down here between Ash Grove and the Republic area and just near Springfield, Missouri. So if you guys live in this corridor, there's a tornado, a damaging tornado on the ground confirmed. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground. Law enforcement. So this is not just radar confirmed. This is law enforcement. Confirmed tornado in Springfield, Missouri on the ground. Tennis ball size hail. And this tornado is going to be moving very quickly to the east at 50 miles per hour, folks. So this is going to be, the tornado was confirmed near Willard, Missouri, moving 8 miles north of Republic, moving east at 50 miles per hour. So this is going to be moving like literally into the Springfield area. We need to watch this here, and I would imagine it's right over the radar site. The tornado would probably be sitting somewhere in here, and that would unfortunately be moving right into the area there towards downtown Springfield. So if you know anybody that lives in this metroplex, Springfield, Missouri, Willard, over here towards the, let's zoom in here a little bit further. So if you live into Springfield, Brookline, Plano, the Glidewell area, and Willard, right over where that radar site is. Unfortunately, that is a problem. There's a radar hole here, or just a radar site problem in general. We do have definitely a tornado confirmed. This is a law enforcement confirmed tornado here, and we're trying to get more information on this real quick. The tornado would be sitting, as the tornado warning states, near Willard or 8 miles north of Republic. So the tornado would actually be sitting up here towards Willard, which would actually be just on the northwest side of the Springfield metro area. So the tornado would literally be right near the radar site somewhere up here and would be moving east. So this is going to be heading up toward the Strafford region. If you live in Strafford or Marshfield, that even though you are outside of the tornado warning there in Missouri, this is southwestern Missouri, make sure that you are heeding the warning here. There is an ongoing violent tornado potentially on the ground, so we're going to make sure we know that. And just to the north and east from there, we have a tornado warning. This is also observed. So we have 2 observed tornado warnings now, both with tennis ball size hail potential. This is a particularly dangerous situation here. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Fair Grove, or 9 miles northwest of Strafford, moving east at 40 miles per hour. So there could very well be potentially 1 or 2 ongoing tornadoes here confirmed in southwest Missouri here at 10:52 p.m. Central Daylight Time. This is dark. Nobody's going to see these tornadoes, and we definitely need to stay on alert here for these. These storms are moving to the east here. You can see the big bulge. Let's go back to the big bulge here that was in the leading edge of the line, that bow echo briefly. You can see that tornado is likely going to be sitting in this little curly Q here And let me take this off real quick. This tornado is going to be moving to the east, so it's probably sitting right in here where that kind of curly Q is. That would be where some of the inflow is being sucked into the storm, and the tornado would be sitting right in there. So the tornado likely right in here, moving towards the Conway or the Marshfield or Phillipsburg area there into Missouri. And then we have a large severe thunderstorm warning. This goes all the way up toward Lebanon here. This is for I-44. This is for 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So regardless, if you're not on the tornadic part of the storm, you're seeing some 2-inch hail, the hen egg size hail, and the 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So we're going to be seeing sideways hen egg size hailstones potentially for this entire yellow polygon here, which does include Buffalo, Missouri, Phillipsburg, Lebanon, all the way down through Marshfield, Strafford, Fordland, Seymour, and also near the Springfield region in Springfield, Missouri. All right, let's go here to... All right, so we're a little bit further away here, so let's see... Yeah, look at the velocity there, folks. That's some strong velocity here. Let's look at the correlation coefficient here on this storm, and let's see if we have a debris ball or anything like that on here. I don't see anything too... Let's slow this down a little bit here. Again, I had to here. Let me see if I can find a different radar site here. See if this one will work. Yeah, it's too far. Yeah, it looks like the tornado is probably going to be rain wrapped here just between, it looks like it's between Buffalo and Strafford, but closer to Strafford here. The tornado would likely be right in here pushing towards Conway and likely towards I-44. So we're likely seeing the tornado moving a little bit closer there towards I-44 as it moves into southwestern Missouri. It's moving through southwestern Missouri, and this is on the leading edge of what we call like a QLCS line of storms, quasi-linear convective system. That's what QLCS means. And basically, you're just seeing a big rush of wind coming down from the downdraft of the thunderstorm. And we could be seeing, regardless of a tornado threat, 70 to 75 mile per hour wind gusts, nearly hurricane force here, and also hen egg size hail, 2-inch hail. So hen egg size hail, 70 mile per hour wind gusts, and a tornado threat embedded within this line of storms. Yes, you should be in cover, Doc O'Malley. You should be in cover in Springfield, Missouri still. But it looks like the worst part of the storm is passing just to your north and east. I would stay in your safe place for just the next 10 minutes probably. I'll let you know when you can come out there of your safe place there, but still be in your safe place if you were in Springfield, Missouri, just for the next few minutes, just to be safe. All right, so they just shrunk this tornado warning just a little bit. Still observed tornado. They have downgraded this to a 2-inch diameter hailstorm, but still, this tornado is moving quick. If it's still on the ground at 10:56, this was just 1 minute ago. So at 10:56 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Fairgrove, Missouri, or 9 miles northwest of Marshfield, moving east at 55 miles per hour here. Again, this is a dangerous situation. Take cover now. This is a radar-confirmed tornado on the ground. This will be approaching I-44 very quickly. So if you are in Phillipsburg, Conway, or Marshfield, you want to take cover right now. There's a dangerous tornado on the ground here right along the leading edge of this line of storms. And there you go. You got the tornado here. You got a lot of turbulence right in this area here. The tornado would be likely sitting in this area. It's getting ready to cross I-44. So if you're traveling north-south from Marshfield to Conway or Phillipsburg on I-44, make sure that you are aware that this tornado is on the ground and likely producing some damage here as it crosses to the north and east of Springfield towards Conway, Marshfield, or Phillipsburg here into southwestern Missouri. This is going to be crossing over Interstate 44 rather soon, and look at that turbulence there here. And you can see this is a very tall thunderstorm, folks. This is a tall storm approaching over 35,000 feet, 40,000 feet here, 42,000 foot storm. So this is going to be producing some hail, some very heavy rainfall as well in addition to that. Look at this, folks. We're likely seeing multiple bow echoes embedded in this line here. You can see a little bulge kind of sitting there. We got a second kind of bow echo kind of sitting in this area, and likely in between, that's where that tornado threat would be, and that's going to be pushing towards the Marshfield, Conway, and Phillipsburg region in southwestern Missouri. Thank you, Who's Dat 915 for the $4.99 donation. Trucker at I-70 and I-55 meet 100 miles east of St. Louis. Is it safe to sleep or should stay up a bit? Thanks. So you're at I-70 and I-55. So let's go over here towards St. Louis real quick and find, there's I-70. I would stay awake. So I would stay awake to watch these storms. You have severe weather just to your west there of St. Louis. There's actually a severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-an-hour winds and a quarter-size hail moving into the St. Louis region. Behind that, there's another one of those, and then another one of those behind that. And then you have these storms that are turning tornadic just to your south and west towards Springfield, Missouri. These storms will be heading up towards St. Louis over the next few hours. So it's going to be a long night there for St. Louis. Unfortunately, after midnight, still could be seeing tornadic storms well after dark here, well after midnight. Again, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. We're doing live tornado coverage here. We were just talking about today's tornado threat, but also tomorrow's significant tornado outbreak likely to unfold here on the channel. We'll have a video outbreak, an outbreak video for this tomorrow on the main channel here. So make sure that you do subscribe to the channel and like this live stream so we get more of this information out to as many people. So hopefully I answered your question there. Who Dat 915. If you're at I-70 and I-55 near St. Louis, you do have some severe weather lining up just to your west. Mainly right now, some damaging hail producers there and some 60-mile-per-hour winds. The tornadic storm is down here near Springfield right now. All right, so let's get back down to this tornado warning here. Again, some turbulence in there still. We're looking at the potential for a tornado on the ground still. It looks to be confirmed. We're not really seeing any, correlation coefficient that really screams debris ball, but if there is, it would be right in this area here, and it would be heading up hopefully between Conway and Marshfield. Hopefully there's not a lot of population in that area. And it looks like it'll be crossing over I-44. So hopefully it goes in between Conway and Marshfield and it's over open fields and nobody is in the path of this tornado if it is on the ground. Hopefully nobody is in the path. We just want this to be over an open field here. But the good news is, if anything, this storm is actually looking to become more linear. So this is becoming more of a line of storms, but then you still have that embedded rotation. That's why we call it a QLCS line. It's not really a straight squall line. You have some kinks here and some circulations on the leading edge. Sometimes that could, cause these observed or confirmed tornadoes. And that's what we're seeing here so far on this line of storms. So we have an observed tornado here, again, damaging tornado on the ground, Marshfield and into very close to the Conway region here into, so Marshfield up toward Conway here, right along and west of I-44. But mainly this is also producing 70-mile-per-hour winds and 2-inch hail. All right, new scan just came in. Let's check this new scan out real quick. Still, again, we have turbulence here with this storm, so we're still possibly talking about, looks like a tornado on the ground here. Again, getting very close to I-44 here, and it's going to be pushing east rather soon over I-44 if it hasn't already. And we're going to be looking at correlation coefficient here. Yeah, we got a big rush of wind coming through with these storms too, so this is going to be a big deal. Let's look at the hail threat here. Yeah, you got some large hail, mainly on the northern end of this line of storms, so up here towards Buffalo, like right over the Buffalo area. That's where we're likely seeing the hail threat there, so definitely watching that. And likely that's where the tallest part of the storm is. See, you're around 40,000 feet or so, 42,000 feet up there near Buffalo. That's the tallest part of the storm. That's likely where that hail core will be hanging out. Good news is the storm is more linear, so hopefully we can get rid of this tornado warning sooner rather than later here into this region. So if you do live in Springfield, Illinois, we are seeing more storms developing literally right over Springfield, Illinois right now. These are not severe warned, but they are kind of part of this line of storms that's continuing to kind of back build its way further south and west through Stratford, Springfield, almost down here to the Ozark region. So we're going to continue to watch that kind of back building its way down Interstate 44. And that extends all the way up here into the Lorry region and almost to Eldon into portions there of Missouri. But the tornadic part of the storm is crossing over here right near the Conway, Marshfield, and up towards the Phillipsburg, Missouri region as we speak. And hopefully, again, this is becoming more linear, so we hopefully seeing more damaging winds than tornado potential with this storm. Again, damaging winds up to 70 miles per hour with the storm, 2-inch diameter hail here. Hopefully that tornado threat is ending, but right now still a confirmed tornado warning. Observed tornado expires in 4 minutes. Hopefully it just expires and they don't reissue the tornado warning as this moves further east. Yeah, these storms are going to be very efficient rainfall producers too, so that's a big thing, is that these storms are going to really be producing some very heavy rain. This tornado, if it's still on the ground, definitely it looks to be still on the ground as it's still confirmed here. Let's look again at our velocities. And again, there's still turbulence in here, so there definitely could be still some tornado on the ground, or at least very much so a lowering, maybe very close to the ground with this. So it's still potentially a tornado ongoing between Conway and Marshfield here. We're going to continue to monitor this as we go. Again, this would be sitting right in here, and it'll be crossing over I-40 here right now. So if you're traveling on I-40 between Marshfield and Conway, you definitely don't want to be doing that. Tornado is still observed, confirmed on the ground here with this tornado warning. You're welcome, Gracie. Yeah, Springfield is outside of the warning here. Springfield is outside the warning. The tornado warning part of the storm is north and east there of Springfield. There are storms back building, though, into Springfield. These could go severe warned soon. But so far, there's no severe weather warnings for Springfield. The immediate Springfield, Missouri region, there's no tornado warning for Springfield. So, yeah, absolutely. You guys are doing fine down there right now. The worst of the storm is to your north and east towards Stratford, and especially up here towards Conway and Marshfield. And look at the hail core starting to develop here. There's some very heavy rain with this as well. Nice hail core. You can see some darker reds and purples developing with this here. That's going to be crossing over I-44 here very soon. So we still have a tornado warning on the ground with golf ball size hail still possible here into the I-44 corridor in Missouri. This is southwest Missouri near the Marshfield region. Again, if you're just joining, make sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're not already. And again, we'll do another video forecast for you tomorrow here on this channel for updating you guys on the severe weather potential going into tomorrow, as we have another large day of tornado potential, damaging wind potential, and hail potential. Another large severe weather event tomorrow. This time from Detroit all the way south to New Orleans. And then from Memphis over toward Raleigh and Charlotte into the Carolinas. Okay, so far the tornado warning has been allowed to expire. Hopefully it's just now a severe thunderstorm warning. We're still, though, talking, however, a severe thunderstorm warning for the next 15 minutes for 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 2-inch hen egg size hail still for the Lebanon area over here into Buffalo, Pleasant, Hope, Stratford, Fordland, Seymour, Marshfield, Conway, and Phillipsburg. That's the areas that are in. It's really approaching I-44, like literally crossing over the I-44 corridor as we speak. So we're continuing to monitor this. So let's see here. Again, we've been live for about 3.5 hours here again today for the second live stream covering this. So again, my voice is hurting a little bit here, but you know, we're still doing it. We still got some storms up here into St. Louis. So St. Louis, we still have the threat for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail, and then southwest of St. Louis down I-44. I-44 seems to be kind of the dividing line for severe weather here tonight. This is down towards Sullivan and St. Clair, Union, Eureka, Chesterfield, all these areas with 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail potential. That's the inch in diameter. So we're watching some severe weather rolling into the St. Louis metro area over the next few minutes or so. The good news is this storm down here towards Springfield has been allowed to weaken a little bit, at least with the tornado part of the tornadic part of the storm. But definitely still dealing with some very strong winds. This is turning into more of just a squall line of just a big rush of wind coming down from the storm. We're still seeing 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts there, so definitely watching that. Again, the leading edge of that is just now crossing over I-44, approaching Lebanon, and then approaching Marshfield, and eventually down here toward the Fordland region over the next few minutes. We still have some back building, some heavier downpours, probably some flashes of lightning and some rumbles of thunder into Springfield, Missouri. Springfield, Missouri, you are in the clear now, finally. We can give you an all clear in Springfield, Missouri for severe weather. These severe thunderstorms have now passed you to your east, at least the worst of the severe weather. Now you're just dealing with heavy rain and a lot of lightning and thunder. So the severe weather and the tornadic part of the storm for Springfield, Missouri has now finally passed your area. Let's move up here back towards St. Louis. So we got another line of storms moving into the Union, St. Clair area. Again, this is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail. Nice line of storms here. Decent hail core with this as well. This hail core potentially with quarter-size hail could be pushing into Union over the next few minutes. This could be, again, quarter-size, maybe half-dollar size hail that'll be pushing into the Union area and then on up toward Eureka and eventually into St. Louis. Nice hail core on this storm west of St. Louis as well. Just east of Eureka, very nice returns here on the radar, purples and blues, showing that deeper hail core here that'll be pushing into the western side of the St. Louis metro area over the next few minutes, probably within the next 10 to 15 minutes there. Chillicothe, Ohio is in a moderate risk of severe weather. For those of you in the chat that were mentioning Chillicothe, you have a moderate risk of severe weather, level 4 out of 5 tomorrow. All modes of severe weather will be in play. Strong, violent tornadoes, those EF2 to EF5 tornadoes, those damaging hail producers that could be over 2 inches in diameter. We're talking potentially those hurricane force wind gusts over 75 miles per hour. So again, EF2 to EF5 tornadoes potentially in Chillicothe tomorrow. We have the chance for some hurricane force wind gusts with those storms, and also those hen egg size hailstones or larger. So that's the potential. It's not a slam dunk by any means, but definitely that's what we're looking at for the Chillicothe area tomorrow for those of you in the chat that have been asking. Again, we're 40 subscribers away from 84,000. So if you guys want to subscribe to the channel, my goal tonight is 84,000 subscribers. So we're almost to our goal here for tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you guys all for being here. We're going to continue live stream coverage here probably for the next few minutes. But it looks like some of these storms are starting to wind down here across portions of the area here into Missouri. Most of these severe storms are moving through the state of Missouri right now and on up into St. Louis and then outside of the Jefferson City, Springfield area. Oh, here we go again. So we got another tornado warning here for portions of Missouri. This is a radar indicated tornado. So thankfully there is no confirmed tornado, but this includes Phillipsburg, Conway, and over there towards County Road 5. So just an open area there for most of, mostly just open area south of Lebanon there into southwest Missouri. So the storm that's over there toward I-44 in Phillipsburg and also the Conway region, that's going to be moving east toward County Road 5. And this storm is going to be kind of more of a damaging wind producer, but it still could produce a tornado here. It's got a little bit of some low-level shear to work with here. Low-level shear. You have a good rush of wind on the leading edge here. Probably 70-mile-per-hour winds rushing through Lebanon, Phillipsburg, Conway, all the way down to Marshfield right now and extending past Marshfield all the way down to Fordland and Seymour. Seeing those 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible on the leading edge of the storm. And then the correlation coefficient here. Again, some turbulence still around. Probably not seeing any debris lofted. Again, this is radar indicated, but definitely continuing to watch this area there for see if we have any circulations that are starting to kick up again with this storm. But yeah, this is turning into more of a classic kind of almost bow echo, but almost kind of like just line of storms, just pushing through the I-44 corridor. Eventually, we'll be entering towards Rolla, Cuba, St. Robert, over here in towards the, again, Seymour region, Sherrill, Salem. This will all be pushing east as we go deeper into the evening hours. A lot of these storms are moving very quick. This storm complex is moving east at about 40 to 50 miles per hour here. The tornado warning right now, it's moving east at about 40 miles an hour. So 40 to 50 mile per hour movement here on this severe thunderstorm warning and this tornado warning with these storms right now as they do march their way off here towards the east, this entire line. Thank you so much, Leighton, for subscribing and liking. I appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing to the channel and liking the live stream. Again, if you guys are here, subscribe to the channel, like the live stream. You can subscribe to my second channel that's pinned at the top of the live stream chat. That's North Central Weather Center. We cover the North Central U.S. Another video on that channel coming out on Wednesday. Video on this channel coming out tomorrow, and likely possibly a live stream as well tomorrow morning to cover the severe weather and tornado outbreak for tomorrow, the new updates for the forecast for that on this channel. All right, we got another tornado warning here that just came out. This does now include the Lebanon region. This is up I-44, another radar indicated tornado warning here. Again, these leading edges of the lines here could be pretty sneaky producing tornadoes here tonight. This is heading up towards St. Robert in Lebanon. This is right along I-44. I-44 has been a problem for severe weather here so far in Missouri tonight, all the way up to the St. Louis metro area. This is also another radar indicated tornado until 11:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. This storm is moving east at 55 miles per hour. So a tornado and half dollar size hail is a concern with this storm here. Yeah, we're now 10 subscribers away. We're 10 subscribers from 84,000. So if we can hit that tonight, that would be awesome. Thank you guys so much. We are officially about 16,000 subscribers away from 100,000. We gained a lot of ground today. We gained 2,000 subscribers, so I appreciate all the new subscribers subscribing to the Weather on the Go channel and community today. Appreciate it. We'll keep you covered with accurate weather forecasts throughout the year. Let's move back up here to the St. Louis region and check out these storms again. Again, a line of storms moving in towards the Union, St. Clair, and Sullivan region as we go here into tonight right now. These are just producing 60 mile per hour wind gusts and some 60 mile per hour wind gusts and some quarter size hail. And then we got another line of storms with a little bit of a hail core there, quarter size hail moving into St. Louis as we go through the next few minutes. So we're going to continue to watch these storms here for the next few minutes while I'm live. To see hopefully these tornado warnings start to wind down tonight. We did have a confirmed tornado, at least a couple of them, in and around the Springfield area, maybe the northern side more than the southern side, but I'm definitely watching still these ongoing radar-indicated tornadoes still. Thankfully, they are not observed or confirmed. Earlier on, we had a law enforcement confirmed tornado there just to the north of Springfield, Missouri, so thankfully these have gone... those were allowed to expire, and now we're just looking at radar-indicated tornado warnings here as of right now. Let's just put the radar back in play for you folks in this region to give you kind of zoom out to give you a general sense of what you can see here with these storms. And again, the red polygons, those radar-indicated tornado warnings, this is mainly a damaging wind and hail event moving through portions of Missouri from St. Louis all the way to Springfield and in between Jefferson City there right now. But we're keeping an eye on those circulations as they could produce tornadoes here along the leading edge of the line of storms. Yeah, Toledo, Ohio tomorrow, you have a chance of tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. It just depends on how far north that warm front goes. We'll have an update again in the morning with a video forecast for you tomorrow morning. Sorry, folks, I'm just reading some of the storm reports that are coming in here from the Storm Prediction Center here tonight regarding some of the severe weather. We also have some severe weather down here in Oklahoma right now. We got a line of storms moving through just to the east of Tulsa. Tulsa just had a squall line of some storms move through, stronger winds, some hail, a lot of lightning and some heavy rain. This severe thunderstorm warning is just for 60 mile per hour winds. This is for portions there of northeastern Oklahoma. This includes Highway 412, so we're keeping an eye on that as it moves into portions there in northeastern Oklahoma here tonight. So we're keeping an eye on these storms. A lot of severe weather. New severe thunderstorm warning just got issued for areas across south central Missouri. This is for widespread wind damage, potentially 60 mile per hour winds and quarter size hail. That's that 1-inch hail there. This is including the St. Robert region, Sherrill, and the Dixon, Missouri region. So we're continuing to watch that there. That's really right up I-44. It's been I-44 here in Missouri for some reason. That has been kind of the dividing line for severe weather to the south, along and south of I-44. A lot of the severe weather has been here, just mainly heavier rain to the north, Jefferson City to Columbia and Sedalia, Missouri here so far this evening. Lebanon, that's how it's pronounced, Lebanon. It looks like Lebanon, but you could be, you're probably right. You probably live down there. I live in northern Illinois, so harder to pronounce some of these smaller town names, and so I apologize for that. But yeah, we got a severe storm moving through St. Louis here. The western side of St. Louis, probably going to be moving right over the arch here pretty soon. 60-mile-per-hour winds and some quarter-size hail there for St. Louis downtown area. And the storm's literally moving into St. Louis right now, the metro area. So if you're in metro St. Louis right now, you're seeing some pretty heavy lightning probably with this storm and some very heavy rain. And then eventually you're likely to be seeing 60-mile-per-hour winds and some quarter-size hail very soon as the storm moves into your area. Alrighty. Yeah, this looks to be turning more into a damaging wind threat here, and there still could be some embedded tornadoes tonight, but this looks mainly like a classic damaging wind, hail producing type of complex of storms back here toward Lebanon, also back here into the Springfield, Missouri area. So 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. We're still monitoring, though, the radar indicated tornado warnings. We got 2 of those back here. Right over the Lebanon region, Phillipsburg, Conway. This is crossing over I-44. And if these tornado warnings hold on and they expand north and eastbound, this would include St. Robert, Plato over here towards Sherrill, and maybe the Rolla region later on. So we'll continue to watch that. With these storms, they definitely could still pack a punch as they move through portions there of south central Missouri and up toward the St. Louis region as we go deeper into the night tonight. Alrighty. Yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button down below and the like button before you leave the live stream here this evening. I really do appreciate it. Again, thank you folks for being here. I think I'm going to wrap up the live stream here. We did a 4-hour live stream earlier. We did another just about 4-hour live stream, 3 hours and 50 minutes here today. I do appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Again, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're not here tomorrow, definitely make sure to be weather aware. We will be going over possibly, again, another live stream weather forecast early tomorrow morning to go over the latest forecast for severe weather. And we're also going to be looking at your video forecast on this channel tomorrow morning before then as well. So make sure you're looking for a video on this channel 8, 9, or 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then a live stream shortly there around that time frame as well. So again, thank you for being here, and make sure, again, subscribe to the channel, folks. That's the only way you guys can find me and see my face again. So make sure to do that. Like the live stream down below, spread the word. And again, leave any comments, questions, and concerns down below after the live stream is over here. I'll be able to answer as many questions as I possibly can while I'm still awake here. Otherwise, I'll answer them when I see them again in the morning. Thank you guys so much for being here. Have a great, safe rest of your Monday, April 1st, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.